Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis.
This is a Storm Track 7 severe weather alert.
I'm Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. We're continuing to track these storms as they move to the north and east. We have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings, and then just outside of the area we do have a tornado warning that is in effect. And so here's a bigger picture of the storms that are moving across the area. As you see, Storm Track 7 live Doppler radar. One of the warnings is including Grundy County, and that is with a storm that has produced some large hail in the Ames area. Most of this is right now near Iowa Falls and is heading to the north and east, and should be to the west of Grundy County at this point. Farther to the south we have Tama County. That's where Brandon is located on our chase vehicle, Storm Track 7 chase vehicle down there. And then we've got the storm south and west of Malcolm. That is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 4 o'clock. This is for hail up to 1 1/4 inch size hail. That's a $half size, and that will continue to move northeast at about 50 miles an hour. And these are fast moving storms. Then we have this one storm near Ottumwa that has prompted a tornado warning, and this is also one that has the potential for let's see, 2 3/4, that's up to baseball size hail near the Ottumwa area, and that continues to move northeast. That storm is located near Ottumwa and also has the potential for a tornado. This is radar indicated at this point, and you can see the storm when it comes to where the tornado would be located right around here. Again, this is just outside of our area as it's heading to the northeast. No tornado warning at this point for our coverage area. That is to the southeast. Notice the warning runs up to Keokuk County, and as for any showers and storms in that area, nothing at this point. It is dry, but the storm is to the south and west, and it is moving to the northeast. And then there's even more storms near the Centerville area, and that is moving northeastward as well. And these extend farther to the south down into parts of Missouri with some severe weather. Now, farther to the north, we were talking about how these storms are starting to develop, and boy, they developed very quickly in our northern and northwestern counties here. Several thunderstorms ongoing. Nothing when it comes to severe weather at this point. There may be some small hail in this little cluster north of Highway 20. These are going to be continuing to move to the northeast very quickly. The potential for these to strengthen into severe storms, all a possibility here as we head through the next couple of hours. There's an update on the Hardin County storm as that storm moves north, looking at 1 inch diameter size hail, and that storm is located near Iowa Falls. It is just to the west of Parkersburg. We do have a thunderstorm non-severe in Grundy Center, and this will continue to move northeast. Near the Hampton area to the west is where we are looking at some stronger storm potential, hail, small at this point. Southern parts of Chickasaw County. This is located southwest of the New Hampton area. This one a little bit tighter. You can see the storm located just around the Nashua area to about New Hampton and west of Fredericksburg and just north of Plainfield, and that continues to move in the northeast direction as well. Again, these are non-severe. These are just general thunderstorms at this point, but they have been developing fairly quickly. This is the severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect. That does include parts of Tama County. This would include the southern part of Tama County, including Grinnell, Montezuma, Pella, Toledo, and this storm west of Montezuma, right in this area, is where the core of that storm is. But a lot of lightning on the north flank of this, farther to north as it extends northward towards Tama and Toledo. Farther to the south here, we still have this tornado warning southwest of the coverage area near Ottumwa. And we take a look inside of this. You can still see the circulation there. It's now approaching the Ottumwa area. So this would be where the tornado would be, located right about there. That's where you would see the potential for a tornado. We'll be approaching the Ottumwa area here fairly soon. In a short amount of time, just a couple minutes, you need to be taking shelter in that area. That is where we are looking at some of the stronger part of that storm as well. It is coming down pretty hard right now in the Ottumwa area. Wouldn't be surprised to see some very large hail out of this. This has a potential of producing baseball-size hail with this thunderstorm. Again, we're continuing to monitor that because that is just to the south and west of our coverage area and moving northeast. And as it does so, we do have the potential for that to get into our area with some very large hail. I don't know if there's a camera. Meg, if there's a camera down near Ottumwa, I'm not sure if there's anything on when it comes to the DOT cameras there. Also down near Centerville. Meg's in our booth directing, producing this part of the segment here. So if you hear that term or someone's name there, that's who I'm talking to. We are looking at this watch that remains in effect. This is a particularly dangerous situation. So we talked about this for the last couple of days, severe weather expected, and that skipped past. But this is all over eastern Iowa. This watch is in effect until 8 o'clock. This is where any of these storms can produce a tornado at any point and will be pretty strong. Some large hail expected out of this. We've already seen some reports of baseball-size hail to our south and west. Wind gusts could be up around 60, maybe 70 miles per hour, maybe even stronger than that as it moves to the north and east, and that is where we will be watching this very carefully. And this is what will be playing out as we head through the next couple of hours. As mentioned, about 4 o'clock, we'll see all these showers and thunderstorms in our western counties. They will be moving toward the east. This will be about 4, 5 o'clock time frame, and then this will be moving out of the area by 6 o'clock. So in the next 2.5 hours is when we will have most of the active weather when it comes to damaging wind, large hail, as well as tornado potential. After this passes by, it's still going to be very windy. Some of these wind gusts outside of any of these thunderstorms, behind the storms, could be up around 50 or 60 miles per hour, and that would bring some pretty gusty winds into the area and will bring in some colder weather, as well as, unfortunately, some more snow possible across our northern counties. Possibility there as we get in towards the morning hours first thing tomorrow from north of Highway 20. Waking up a whole different scenario as the temperatures are a whole lot warmer around here. So again, there are your warned storms at this point. Make sure you have multiple ways of getting warnings, whether it's our app, or on TV here, on our website. There's social media, there's wireless emergency alerts on your smart devices. Make sure those are turned on so that if a tornado warning is issued or a severe thunderstorm warning with very large hail or winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, you'll get alerted on that. You need an app other than that to get severe thunderstorm warnings that are only 60 miles per hour, but still can cause some damage. But you need to have multiple ways to get the warnings as this storm moves to the northeast. This was a little busy on the graphic, but this is what we need to look for. If there's a tornado, you would need to take shelter immediately, lowest level, interior room and closet. Hail, move indoors, away from the windows, move any vehicles to a garage. You may do that now if you're not near the storm, so you don't have to worry about that as the storm moves into your area. Move indoors again, away from windows, lowest level. If the wind is high, if there's a severe thunderstorm warning, we're not probably going to need this because these storms are moving really, really fast. I don't think we'll see any flash flooding at this, but obviously these thunderstorms are going to produce a lot of lightning as they move to the north and east with very active radar at this point. As we're going to go back to the radar here in just a second, you'll see severe thunderstorm warnings lining up in that area. I'm going to take a look at this tornado warning. They're starting to chop away at this altogether. South of our coverage area, north of Ottumwa, or just near the Ottumwa area. And we are still looking at that circulation right now near Ottumwa, and so that puts the circulation just near or to the southwest of the Ottumwa area, as there is some circulation in there. We're also watching to the south and west, more of a broad circulation southwest. No warnings associated with this. Notice the more broad circulation here in that, but there's no warning when it comes to a tornado, but that does include potential for some damaging wind. They're shortening up that severe thunderstorm warning as that storm continues to move northeast, but this also has a history of producing some very large hail, and that'll be moving to the northeast, so that would be impacting us here into southwestern Keokuk County as the rain starts to push into the area at this hour right now. Farther to the north, in our coverage area, around the Tama area, Toledo, we are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect. The storm is located just to our south and west, near the Grinnell area, and this will continue to move northeast. If we put a track on this, and the movement is pretty quick, we're talking about 50 miles per hour, most of these storms, and move this. This is going to be the leading edge of this, so we'll be dealing with Tama about 337, so any minute now. Chelsea 348, Cloutier 352, Belle Plaine will be at 356, Dysart will be at 401, and Luzerne, that'll be at 406 as the time of this thunderstorm as it moves northeast. And again, this thing is moving at about 50 miles per hour. So these are fast-moving storms for everybody. So be aware of your weather surroundings over the next couple of hours, and if there is a warning issued for you, know how fast or how much time it will take for you to get to your coverage area or safe area so that you're covered up from the storm as it moves into your region. So those are the warnings. There's a new tornado warning. They're going to extend that now. This is including our coverage area. This is a new tornado warning now in effect for Jefferson, Keokuk, and Washington counties. We've been watching this over the last few minutes with the circulation southwest of Martinsburg, southwest of Hedrick here. This does have a potential for producing baseball-size hail as well as a tornado. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 4:15. Includes the county of Washington, the western part of Washington County, most of Keokuk County, as well as Jefferson County, and this will continue to move to the north and northeast. So there's the storm near Ottumwa. We switch modes here for just a second to look inside of this, and there is the circulation associated with this storm. Zoom in a little bit tighter on this. This is just to the northeast of Ottumwa, so your circulation is going to be located right there, and that is where we are looking at a possibility of a tornado. It has strengthened just a little bit. I'm going to back this up, and you can see the movement on that, how it has gotten a bit tighter. I'll move that little symbol. And right in that area, right here, is where you've got the potential for a tornado northeast of Ottumwa. And this is moving northeastward. So I'm going to put a track on this. Danny, how fast? Is this still 50 miles an hour?
This is now going at 65 miles per hour, an incredibly fast-moving storm. Because, yeah, like you said, we've been usually seeing 50 miles per hour, 55, but now this one has been upgraded to 65 miles per hour speed.
Okay, so we're going to get a 65 mile an hour track on this, take this northeast. So this is past the warning, or past the short-term warning, but this includes the other areas. So this would be over towards Martinsburg at 347, Pekin at 349, and Ollie at 353. And that is the storm. So this is moving very fast. Notice how the warning goes all the way out towards the northeast. The tornado warning, or the tornado right there, again this is radar indicated, is right here. And then this is extended farther toward the north and east. That includes Sigourney as well as, let's get some other towns in on this. I'm going to change modes here for a second on the radar. You can see this is near Hayesville and moving in that area. So this will be some of the locations, Union Chapel. These are places that some of you may know. Down to the south there, this is other spots would be Manhattan Bridge County Park, Lancaster Christian Church, Bethel Church. We're also looking at the Sigourney Care Center, and that will continue. Newkick School in this area of the county near Hayesville, and that will continue to move northeast. So this has the potential for baseball-size hail as well as a possibility of a tornado. We have been looking at this, and inside this there has been a decent circulation, and you can see where that is located. It is just to the northeast of Ottumwa. It is moving northeast, and it is getting closer to our coverage area, and that is the reason why they issued that tornado warning farther to the north and east. I'm going to take a look here and see if there's been any debris popping up and see if it's done any I don't know, there's something maybe there from leftover in Ottumwa in that spot right in here. Looking at the radar, something may be in there. We'll have to see how that plays out in time as it moves northeast, because it does weaken and fall apart, but it does pick up a little bit towards the Ottumwa area. That would indicate that there was some damage to something there. But there's the storm. It's the only tornado warning that we do have in effect. This is the other storm that we're watching that is approaching and moving into Tama, and just to the south and west of Tama, which would be near the Grinnell area between Sheridan and Gilman. This will continue to move in the northeasterly direction. Another storm to the north that we're watching. This one may prompt a severe thunderstorm warning at some point. This is near Chickasaw County, Deerfield, New Hampton, and east of Charles City. Look inside this storm. I don't see anything that would indicate any circulation as of this point, and that is good news. But it does have a pretty good signature for the possibility of some hail out of this, and this will be near Chickasaw, north of Nashua, east of Charles City, and this will be moving to the northeast. No warning right now with that. Farther to the south and west, you got this thunderstorm northwestern parts of Black Hawk County. This is located near or just northwest of Cedar Falls over towards Janesville, and that is moving to the northeast. You can see a little closer look just east of Hartford, a lot of lightning in there, and over towards Janesville. Off to the west, a couple of thunderstorms. Iowa Falls under a severe thunderstorm warning. That is located right there near Jewell, heading towards Sherman. Again, this is still outside of our coverage area off to the south and west. So this is all congealing to a line of storms that is moving to the northeast. So there's the big picture. I'm going to put a time lapse on this just to show you how things have been evolving with these thunderstorms. These will continue to move in the easterly direction. In addition to that, watch what's happening here. Look at this line of storms that is starting to pop up right here, right around Interstate 35. Once that line passes your area, you will most likely be in the clear. That is the last of the storms as we see it at this point. Anything am I missing here that you're catching there?
The only thing I'm seeing right now is with, we've been talking about that tornado warning. Just to the southwest has now been issued for Keokuk and Washington. No confirmed rotation, but we have seen a couple of funnel clouds in the area. A little bit of elevated rotations. We will see that a little bit of that, but we're not really seeing anything quite yet of any confirmed on-the-ground rotation with this tornado in Washington County, just southwest of Keokuk County there. So again, we're watching that. We've also seen a little bit of potential elevated rotation with the Tama County storm. So again, we're watching that closely as that continues to move off farther to the north and to the east.
Brandon is live in Tama County. We were mentioning that the storms in Tama County are moving northeast, and he's under a severe thunderstorm warning. Brandon's in our chase vehicle. Brandon, what are you seeing and where are you located?
Hey, Mark. Good afternoon. So what we were on originally, we've just kind of been hanging out in Tama County. We were on the little cell that's currently near Traer. Looked promising for a little bit, didn't really do anything, so we decided to go further south. And we're currently on that severe thunderstorm warning. We're on Highway 30 going eastbound from Toledo to the Belle Plaine area, trying to just watch everything that's going on with this severe thunderstorm warning. Obviously looking like some pretty strong winds near Grinnell, and you've got the circulation that's moving towards Montezuma. So we're kind of hoping to get east enough where we can catch some of that as it moves to the northeast. And so that's kind of what we're watching right now. The camera is facing behind the vehicle, obviously, so you're looking to about the west-ish towards that severe thunderstorm warning. We've been seeing some dark clouds, a lot of rain. I think maybe some little hailstones as we were closer to the Tama and Toledo area. But we haven't seen much hail. We've been out of the storm just a bit. But currently we're going east towards the Belle Plaine area. We're trying to see how this storm evolves and maybe catch some of that circulation as it moves pretty quickly off to the northeast.
Yeah, and that circulation that he's talking about is near Searsboro. That is up on Max 1 there that you can see, and there's the circulation. There's no warning yet at this point, tornado warning that is, but something that's monitoring pretty closely as some strengthening possible circulation. So if we back that out a little bit, it's starting to show a little bit, but nothing that is going to be widespread at this point or enough to issue a tornado warning from the National Weather Service. We'll also be watching this area. Some real strong wind associated with this area right here from Grinnell to about the Sheridan area. We have some very strong winds in that location. Some of these wind gusts could be up around 70 miles per hour. So we'll be watching that carefully. So wouldn't be surprised at some of those strong winds in that vicinity near Grinnell and just to the north coming down to the ground. So Grinnell to about Tama, and then it'll be moving towards the northeast. So that's the other storm that we are watching there.
Yeah, we're gonna shift over our attention here to the storm near kind of the Ottumwa area. We just got this photo retweeted from one of the storm chasers out there by NWS Des Moines. Meg, can we click on the photos to kind of give you a wider edge here, so you can kind of see the rotation here. You're seeing that touchdown in the area. I believe this is around the Ottumwa area, a little bit northeast. So again, we have now seen a confirmation there of the tornado touching down. Again, this is, I believe, Mark, still a little bit outside of our viewing area in terms of the rotation, but the warning is still in effect. Obviously, as it gets closer and closer. So again, we'll continue to track that. But again, as you can see, seeing that rotation, luckily, it looks like an open area, so hopefully it obviously doesn't get in any towns or areas. But again, we still are tracking this as it continues to move north and east, and we'll see if this kind of intensifies a little bit as it continues to move more north and east. I believe, Mark, we have a new warning in Chickasaw County, if you want to talk about that here a little bit.
Yeah, that's a new warning that's coming in for Chickasaw. It was the storm that we were just watching there. They just issued, as you started the segment there and showing the pictures, but this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect from the New Hampton area. You can see the core of that storm just northwest of New Hampton. This is for Chickasaw County, Floyd County, Howard County, Mitchell County, including towns of Chickasaw, Deerfield, Emma, Riceville. It does not include the city of New Hampton. The storm is to the west of New Hampton and will continue to move northward. This one's about 45 miles per hour. So put a track on this. Right now, this is a hail concern. Winds have not been very strong out of this and not expected at this point. This is more of a hail concern. And the areas that will be included with this, a rough estimate on time of arrival will be about 3:50. Maple Leaf will be 3:57. Riceville at 4:01. Looking at Bailey, that'll be at 4:10. That will be as it gets closer, farther to the north as it moves about 45 miles per hour. So this one's a little bit slower, but there's the potential for some large hail in this storm. As for the circulation on inside of this, there has not seen very much anything for concern at this point when it comes to circulation on that new severe thunderstorm warning. But again, large hail a possibility with this thunderstorm. Also watching this other storm near Waverly that is developing. I'm not sure if our Waverly camera is available. It is not. So Waverly towards Janesville, that is where the storm is located. It's moving towards the northwestern parts of Bremer County. A couple of more storms to our south. So Blackhawk County, so far just a few showers around. Most of the active weather has been to your northwest and south at this point. Go back to this tornado warning. Down here, look inside the storm a little bit more. Circulation still there. That is located near Hedrick, and it is moving toward the northeast. So this is the area we'll be watching. There's Highway 78, Pool Wildlife area just to the northeast there, and then you can see some circulation Again, the colors are going to change here because of which radar we are looking at. As you get farther away from one of the radars, whether it's Des Moines or Davenport, one switches. So this is the Des Moines radar, and then we get a little closer to Davenport side, then we switch modes, and so the colors will change and look a little bit different, and it's all relative to the radar beam. And so therefore it's going to look a little different, but the information is the same and the position is the same for the circulation. So that's the only tornado warning that we do have that is currently in effect for our coverage area to the south. Also looking at some more thunderstorms down here, but we are watching all of these. There's thunderstorms all lining up right in here. This would be the front, and things are going to be a whole lot colder, and the wind shift will be right just off towards the west here. But as mentioned, all these thunderstorms still have to move across the eastern part of the state, and they're moving very quickly, and between now and about 6 o'clock is when most of this should be passing through eastern Iowa.
Yeah, if we want to, can we go over to, let's cut to max 2 here. I want to go back to the Chickasaw severe thunderstorm warning if we could. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so this, we just got a report of pea-sized hail in the area. This was a couple miles west of Ionia. So again, we're seeing a little bit of small hail there, again up to an inch size there, which would be of the quarter size, and moving to the north about roughly 40-45 miles per hour. Again, the wind's not the biggest threat with this, but we have seen a couple of smaller pea-sized hail reports. There was also a report about a half hour or so ago of a couple miles north of the Waverly area from this storm of also some pea-sized hail. So again, as this continues to move off to the north, as it continues to exit the area, we'll be seeing that potential for a little bit of hail, and we'll look at kind of a hail signature potential out of this. So again, it looks like kind of just that core of the storm, a little bit northwest of the New Hampton area, kind of moving towards Deerfield, and just northeast of Charles City. That's where we're seeing kind of the biggest hail. And you see that light blue there, that's where the potential for the biggest hail is. Kind of looking at this, so the darker gray is a little bit of a lighter chance of hail, maybe that kind of pea size, but again, that kind of lighter gray as well as that lighter blue is when we're seeing the potential for that bigger hail. And if we kind of overlay radar on that, you can kind of tell a little bit by the radar signature. The purple usually indicates either heavy rain or they're picking up a little bit of those ice crystals. So usually when you see that purple, that indicates a potential for that hail. So again, this will continue to move off to the north around 40-45 miles per hour. Again, hail, the bigger concern with this one, not so much wind, not moving as fast as some of the other storms that we're currently monitoring. Mark, do you have anything new here you want to show?
I want to show that on max 1 here. You can show the height of the storm that's down in Washington County, the tornado warned storm. You can see the height on this thunderstorm is up around 60,000 feet, just to give you a rough idea how high the top of that storm is located, 50,000 feet. And so this is pretty high, and this is looking through the thunderstorm here, the core of that thunderstorm. Give it a little cross section there. You can see that there's the darker pink shaded area where there would be the potential for some hail being lofted in there, but all the way to the top there, the top of that storm, 50-60,000 feet, and that's pretty high when it comes to severe thunderstorms. So that is just another way of looking at a storm that is, pretty impressive at this point right now, with the baseball size hail possibility as well as the tornado warning. The hail is confirmed with baseball size with this. Go to max 2 if you could.
Yeah, let's go to max 2. Just another look at that Tama County severe thunderstorm warning. Again, looks like I don't think we've had any new updates recently with this one. I believe it's still on that same kind of track a little bit. So again, we'll look at this Tama County storm. Again, this is until 4 o'clock, moving at the northeast at around, I believe, 50-55 miles per hour. So let's kind of zoom out a little bit here and kind of give a track of where these storms might be headed. Again, we've seen from a lot of these storms, especially in the Ames area just west, quarter size hail, $half size, which is about an inch to 2/4, and you can, or inch and a quarter, excuse me. And you can see that with this storm. That's what we're seeing. It's currently radar indicated with these storms, but we have seen the potential for it with this kind of band, seeing the inch to an inch and a quarter. So yeah, let's put a track on this just to kind of show you what we've kind of been dealing with here. So let's put the track on here. So about 55 miles per hour. And we'll mark these storms here as they continue to move off to the north and to the east. So again, it looks like the Sheridan area in about 2 minutes, Chelsea about 4:06, Elberon around 4:14. We'll continue to move off to the northeast, Vinton there at 4:34. Let's come over to Mark. He's got something at the plasma to show here.
Yeah, the storm that we're tracking in Keokuk County has a tornado warning associated with that. So we told you that showing the circulation around the Ottumwa area. This is a tweet that was sent out, and you can see there is the tornado right in there. This is located near the Ottumwa area. So yeah, that would be probably a tornado. Can't really tell because there's a lot of trees on the ground. You can't necessarily see the funnel actually touching the ground, but you may guess that that probably is doing that, but can't officially say that that is until I'd be able to see that. But the person who sent that out saying that it was a tornado, I'm not sure if they could see on that point of where the storm is actually reaching the ground, but that is definitely a funnel cloud at a minimum, and yeah, it probably is touching down on the other side. So again, right along this, you got this tree line here, and you can't actually see the funnel touching the ground or any of the debris getting tossed up. If you see debris getting tossed up beyond the tree branches, then yes, it would be a tornado. But this was the Ottumwa storm, and that was moving to the north and east. Danny?
We have a new tornado warning in effect for Tama County, so we've been talking about that. We just talked about the severe thunderstorm warning in the area, but now we have officially a tornado warning in Tama County. Let's see if these was it looks like it's radar indicated. Haven't seen any confirmed reports. So again, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and this one's moving a little bit slower. This one's moving to the northeast around 35 miles per hour. So again, let's kind of we like to look at the rotation or the velocity to see where this might potentially kind of be located at the moment. So let's take a look at that. So again, maybe a little bit here embedded just east, it looks like, of the Tama area. So again, when we talk about rotation, what we're looking at here is this green here is moving towards the radar and the red's away. So this radar is in Des Moines, so you're getting, again, this red that's going away and this green that's towards. So let me pull my arrow here just to kind of maybe demonstrate that a little bit better. So first, let's just show you the tornado is more than likely, the funnel at least, is kind of in this area right here, just east of Tama, just west of Long Point. And again, what we're showing you here is this green. So again, this means it's going towards the radar, so you got wind direction going that way, and then the red is going that way, and so what you get is kind of this counterclockwise rotation, and if you have enough of that, it can reach the ground and we could get that potential tornado.
We have Brandon, who I believe is near Chelsea.
Yes.
Or Belle Plaine.
One of the two.
And Belle Plaine. So Brandon,
Yeah.
tell me where you are. Go.
Yeah, so we're almost to Belle Plaine right now. Almost there. We're just out of town. We're just kind of watching the circulation. We don't have great service here, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but we're just really seeing rain. We're just kind of waiting for everything to come to us with these fast storm motions. It doesn't really make much sense for us to go back and have the storms pass us by. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on everything, not really seeing much at the moment, still trying to get in position, but we're basically near Belle Plaine, and maybe we'll try to head north from there to try to catch some of that circulation as it kind of moves off to the northeast. But
just so you know, if you don't have good reception in that area, the circulation from where you are located is about 10 miles to your west and is moving to the north and east. So just be on, if you go towards the west, you're going to be heading right into that storm. So I would hold off a little bit if you're going to be heading westward, because there's more down to the southwest of you near Brooklyn, and that's another severe thunderstorm area. So be careful in that area, just because that storm is heading in your direction towards Belle Plaine.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Yep.
So we're keep that live picture up for where Brandon is located. That is the one where he is located in Tama County, the tornado warning near Tama, and that circulation right now just to the east of Tama, moving northeastward. There's a couple of tornado warnings there you could see. One near the Montezuma area, another one just to the north near Tama. So 2 tornado warnings, hail about 3/4 or less, So hail is small, Chelsea, Cloutier, Alberon, and then this is Poweshiek County that has a tornado warning for Hardwick, Malcolm, Montezuma, Brooklyn. Again, the hail not much of a concern at this point. And then you got this one down to the south here. This one is the one that's got the hail with it, as well as the circulation, which is a little bit not as pronounced as it was a little bit earlier. I'll back this up just to see how that has changed. Not as, see right there, just to the east of Hedrick, and then it sort of weakened just a little bit as it moves northeast.
Let's see, we'll go back to the Tama County because I want to put a track on that. Can we go to Max 2? We'll show you kind of the track of the Tama County tornado because we were talking about this here. I want to show you again the track of the storm. So again, it looks like the rotation, if we kind of want to look at this again, looks like, again, kind of just east of the Tama area. So again, we're kind of seeing those greens and reds come together. That's what we kind of look for. Seeing there's the radar update again. Now it's just a little bit farther northeast. So getting close to Highway V18, just north of Long Point. And we'll put a track on this. I believe it's moving a little bit slower at 35 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on this just to kind of show you. If you are in the area, please take shelter. Again, this is radar indicated. It has not been confirmed, but we have seen some radar indicated rotation of this tornado. So again, we'll put this track here again, moving out to the northeast around 35 miles per hour. So again, near the Cloutier area potentially. We also have the potential, again, kind of looking towards Alberon, just a little bit north and east of there. Just southeast of the Dysart area, so kind of any of those areas just crossing Highway 21 in about 20 minutes there, we could be seeing the potential for that tornado. And it's still radar indicated at this point, but if you're anywhere in that area, please take shelter, because we have been seeing that radar indication of a tornado.
On Max 1 gives you a rundown of all of the warnings that are currently in effect. It took the radar off. You can see there are several severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as 3 tornado warnings that are just approaching our southwestern counties here. You can see these right in that location. One I want to draw your attention to is the one down near Malcolm here. That does have a bit more circulation. I'll zoom in here, and you can see as the storm moves to the northeast, a very intense area where hail is likely near Sigourney or just to the southeast over the Lancaster area, and that is moving northeastward. That is got some pretty nasty looking cell in that area. Here's Ottumwa that did have a tornado in that area, now under another severe thunderstorm warning. This is with the potential of hail that could be up around $half size as the storm moves northeastward here at about 50 miles per hour. Other warnings farther to the south, just outside, this is down into parts of Missouri, severe thunderstorm warning in those locations as well.
I guess in general, too, just to talk about the fact that even if we aren't seeing tornadoes or even severe thunderstorm warnings, we're seeing just very strong winds during the storms and behind the storms. So we go back to Max 2 just to kind of show you the velocity on this. Again, when we look at velocity, obviously it shows us rotation, but again, you can look at these colors and you can see the brighter reds and the brighter greens just indicating how fast these storms or how fast these winds are potentially moving. So again, let's kind of look at an area here, maybe a little bit closer, just outside, just southwest Tama County. So again, we're seeing velocity 63 miles per hour. So again, we're seeing those 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts, even if we're not seeing the tornadoes on the ground. Another place, again, winds are moving pretty fast. Even in northeast Blackhawk County, we're starting to see this a little bit here. Again, kind of these lighter blues into the green area, around 60 miles per hour. So again, winds obviously kind of the bigger factor right now. We're also seeing that hail and the potential for tornadoes. So again, just kind of a triple threat here as we continue to move through the afternoon.
On Max 1, we got an update on the severe thunderstorm warning that was in Chickasaw County. That is no longer. The storm is moved out of Chickasaw County as it continues to move northward. That is now moving into Howard and Mitchell counties with the potential for some large hail. Elma, McIntyre, Riceville, and Saratoga, and eventually you get into Minnesota at that point. So that's where the storm is located and moving to the northeast outside of our coverage area, moving toward the north, and severe weather there. But notice all these storms just off to the west here, they are moving northward. So they will be heading into southern parts of Minnesota. They are staying just to the west, northwest now of our coverage, where we are looking at Butler County there, where we had those thunderstorms that passed on by. Things are starting to lighten up just a little bit, but then around the Iowa Falls area towards Ames, another round of showers and thunderstorms continuing to move northeastward. So we may get another bout of thunderstorms into Butler County as well as Grundy County here as we head through the evening hours. But that is the last of it. So once this line passes through, the threat for severe weather will be coming to an end, and that's where it is right now, Interstate 35. We do have a number of tornado warnings that are in effect, and I see there's a new one right here just west of Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, we can talk about that here. We want to go back to Max 2. We'll show you kind of a new track of this. So again, this one has just been extended. So this has been the one that has just been in Poweshie County, just southwest of the area there. So again, that's where the current rotation is, but it's been extended now into parts of Benton and Iowa County until 4:45. This one moving off to the northeast at around 45 miles per hour. I believe, have we seen rotation out of this storm? I believe, let's see. Not entirely sure if we've seen any confirmed rotation with this storm. We've seen quarter-size hail with this storm. This was over Malcolm. It looks like, for now, looks like just elevated rotation, but no actual confirmed tornado on the ground. But again, this is until 4:45 this afternoon into Benton and Iowa County. And right now, it's pretty calm in those areas, but this moving in at 45 miles per hour, probably about a half hour here, so we'll put again another track on here, kind of where the base of this storm is, kind of in that pink area you see just off to your southwest. And besides the fact, there's just a ton of lightning. You can see all the lightning signatures in that Tama County storm, as well as just off to the south. So you're seeing the lightning, you're seeing the wind, you're seeing the heavy rains. So you'll take this off to the northeast at around 45 miles per hour. So again, moving to our area there. So Hartwick's still a little bit out of the area there, but Belle Plaine around 425, Blairstown around 436, and the Big Grove Wildlife area around 443. So again, we're continuing to monitor this. If we do see any of that confirmed rotation, otherwise for now, we're just seeing the radar indicated rotation there that is currently still in the area. So we'll clear that off here. And again, just kind of give you one more general outlook of all the warnings we currently have right now. So currently, all the warnings are in this kind of first initial line of the area, except for that one in Mason City. So again, a couple of tornado warnings in parts of Keokuk and Washington County, the one I just mentioned in Benton and Iowa County, or in Tama County rather, where Brandon is right now, and then the severe thunderstorm warnings basically outlining all of that, moving up even into parts of Buchanan County now.
All right, downstairs, I've got two things for you. You're going to throw up one of the, look on my Twitter account, there's a large wedge moments ago near Hedrick. Also, we're going to talk to Brandon's. Is he available to talk about where he is and what he's seeing right now? Okay, Brandon, go ahead. Tell me what you got.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. So right now we're south of Belle Plaine. Before, when you came out to me, we were trying to decide if we should go to the north tornado warning or the circulation to the south. Well, now there's that tornado warning that's near Brooklyn, and that's the cell that we're kind of just waiting on right now. And you can see how dark and ominous the clouds are. Obviously, we're out ahead of the storm, again, just south of Belle Plaine into Iowa County, and we're just waiting for that tornado-warned storm to come to us. And I believe that tornado warning had a confirmed tornado at one point. So obviously, we don't have a visual on it right now. We just have the shelf cloud that's leading the edge of that storm as it approaches, but still seeing that circulation near Brooklyn or just north of Brooklyn. And so as that moves to the northeast, we're just waiting on that to see if it'll catch us and see what's going on with that. But obviously, you can see the dark shelf cloud that's going to lead. That it's the leading edge of the storm. It's going to come over, and then the rain is going to pick up for us, and the winds will pick up, and then we'll see if we get any hail. But again, just kind of waiting on that circulation right now, and to see if there's any sort of tornado or anything like that.
Okay, we appreciate that. Thank you. That's Brandon in Tama County there, watching that storm near Brooklyn. Danny's got a view of something that was just moments ago.
Yeah, as Mark was mentioning here, we have now confirmed large, potentially dangerous rotation tornado. This is in Keokuk County. I think this was about 12 minutes ago. Again, you can see the large kind of wall, kind of wedge here, as Mark described it here. Again, luckily right now it's in a lot of open area, but this is continuing to move off to the north and to the east. Again, this could potentially be dangerous and violent. So if you're in the Keokuk County area to the north and to the east, as well as Washington, as well as moving up into northeast into Cedar County, as well as Lynn County, Johnson County, please be careful in these areas. Again, this could potentially be life-threatening. So if you are in those areas, find your safe shelter, go into an interior room, cover your head if you have to, because again, these could potentially be life-threatening. Again, just seeing the mass shear of this storm, it's just a potentially violent and large tornado. Again, so please be careful in those areas.
As we look at, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is for Buchanan County and Benton County. This does include Independence. We've got large hail as well as 60-mile-an-hour winds, and again, at any point we can get a tornado to drop out of any of these, but nothing as of right now. But that is still well off to the south and west. But because these storms are moving so fast and the likelihood of this severe thunderstorm to continue, they are issuing severe thunderstorm warnings well in advance of the movement of these storms, because they're moving 50, almost 60 miles per hour. So put a track on this line, and we'll put it at about 55 miles per hour. Give you a heads up there. And this will take this northeastward, and so you'll see this LaPorte City about 4:15, so about another 5 more minutes. Looking at Independence about 4:38, and Platt Park, that'll be about 4:40. Jackaway Forest County Park, that'll be at 4:50, and any place in between there as well. So that will include southeastern parts of Black Hawk County. That will be under that severe thunderstorm warning. You could see the location on that. You could see LaPorte City under that, Buchanan County, that severe thunderstorm warning, parts of Black Hawk County. That it does include Tama County. Look for potential of a tornado, but definitely 60-mile-an-hour winds and some large hail out of this. That remains just to the south and west of the Cedar Falls area. Looking at these thunderstorms around Center Point, no warning at this point, but we've heard, I believe, sirens have been going off. Meg, in Cedar Rapids, is that correct? Yes, sirens have been going off in Cedar Rapids. The storm is just to the west, tornado warning, but reports of them getting everybody aware that this storm is moving northeastward, that is near the Brooklyn area. I'll look inside this storm just to see circulation on that, and that is located just northeast of Brooklyn, so we probably put it somewhere right about here. As the possibility, and again that moves to the northeast, and we'll put a track on that, and we will see where this is heading and give you an estimated arrival time, and we'll take this past the warning. We'll take you right into Lynn County here. So we're looking at Belle Plaine here any minute now. Blairstown will be about 4:26, Newhall about 4:36. Seminole Valley Park, that will be at 4:45. Hiawatha Park at 4:49, and the Albernet High School will be about 4:58 as that center of circulation is expected. But keep in mind that there is rain out in advance of that, as well as the potential for some gusty wind that could be impacting you as well. Number of tornado warnings with this one storm to the south here. That does include Iowa, Johnson, Keokuk, and Washington, and that is moving to the northeast with the potential for some large hail out of this. Looking at the velocity inside here, this would be located just west of Keokuk at this point. This is, again, the observed part is the large hail out of this storm as it moves northeastward. The watch has been chopped away a little bit to the west because that is where the front is. That's where the line of thunderstorms are. We'll see that slowly disappear as that line continues to move east. The tornado watch will slowly start to disappear as the threat for severe weather comes to an end. And again, that is the area that we've been talking about. So right in this area. So the watch is up to this point. This is the last of it. Once this line passes you, threat for severe weather is over, and this will be racing northeast. So again, look at all these tornado warnings that are currently in effect across the region, over towards Vinton, looking at Tama County, down to the south, Keokuk County. That does include Johnson County, as well as into Iowa County there. Does not include Iowa City at this point, and this continues to move to the northeast fairly quickly at about 50 miles per hour. So put a track on that storm that would be near the, including Johnson County. So we'll put an area like this and make it extend past the warning. And some of the areas would be Mid-Prairie High School 413, so that is right now. Mennonites, Iowa Mennonites, that will be a 4.
Looking at radar again, it doesn't look like much rotation, and visually looking at it doesn't look like much either in the clouds that is on the screen now. So yes, pretty gusty winds out ahead of it. Have not experienced the winds from the storm yet.
Okay, I do want to go to Max 1 down to the southern counties here with this severe thunderstorm tornado warning effect for Iowa, Johnson, Keokuk, Washington counties. This is until 4:45. This is where we get baseball-sized hail with this. Also on something, if you can pull up that picture and put it up on the wall for me, and we can take a look at the tornado that was located not too long ago. This was near Brooklyn. This is taken, and you can see the debris.
That's a whole horizontal.
You can see the funnel cloud and then the actual debris on the bottom there, and you could see that actually would be a tornado. There you could see again, there's the funnel cloud. It loses its site here, but this is the debris right here that's being picked up right in here, and then again there's the funnel cloud. This is in Brooklyn. The other picture, I believe, is a little bit bigger, and so there's your funnel cloud probably right before it actually reached the ground, because I don't see anything being picked up here. So there's your funnel cloud right before it became a tornado, and then back to those pictures you saw the actual debris being picked up by this. And again, this was located, where was that once again? This was located in Brooklyn. So that was the tornado that's in our southwestern counties, and that continues to move toward the north and east. Okay?
So yeah, we'll give you another update here. So we were showing Brandon here a little bit earlier. We're continuing to track that as we see only radar indicated rotation in that area, but we're tracking to see the potential for any on-the-ground rotation. So let's go over to Max 2, just give you another update on that. Again, there's a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and we're trying to get to everything, but we want to prioritize these tornado warnings because, again, these are of the utmost attention. So right now, this again is, we have a couple kind of smush in this area. You see a lot of these red polygons, and it looks a little bit messy, but we'll kind of break this down one by one. So the one here, so again, he was just southeast of Belle Plaine. So kind of in this area right here. So we'll look again at the rotation here to see if anything's been kind of picking up in that area. For now, okay, it looks like maybe a potential for a little bit here. So you're seeing kind of that one of those red lines kind of blinking there. So that's, I believe we're continuing that tornado warning. So what we are seeing here a little bit, again, we have that slight chance of a little bit of some rotations. Again, you're seeing that red embedded with that green. So we do have the potential in just north of Belle Plaine, just a little bit farther north from where Brandon was. This could be a potential cause of concern as it continues to move off to the north and to the east. And again, you're seeing a lot of these bright greens indicative of very strong winds.
I do want to show you on Max 1 we have that line was developing. The last of that line that we're talking about, several severe thunderstorm warnings have now been issued for our western counties. That does include Black Hawk County, Bremer County, Marshall County, as well as Tama County. So all of Black Hawk County, all of Bremer County, and all, say, the western or most of Tama County is under this warning. Large hail and damaging wind. This warning is in effect until 5:45. That is this entire line right here. We'll put a track on this, and it is moving fairly quickly at about 50 miles per hour. And this is going to cover a good portion of the area. This is the last of the severe weather as it moves into the region. So this is estimated, and again, this is a number of locations. Marshalltown here any minute now. Grundy Center, that'll be at 4:36. Dyke New Hartford High School at 4:44. Tama at 4:54. Waterloo about 5 o'clock. Same thing in Cedar Falls, maybe about 5:02. Evansdale 5:10, and LaPorte City at 5:18. This is damaging wind and some large hail expected out of this. So I'm going to show you, that is the bigger picture here, but I'm going to zoom in and show you piece by piece along this line, and we'll put a track on it to give you a little better vantage point for individual locations that were a little bit tighter. So here is the one part. This is the northern part, and this is looking at Parkersburg at 4:30, Allison at 4:32, Waverly 4:51, Denver High School at 4:59, and in Dewar, that'll be at 5:06. Now a bit farther south, this is looking at Waterloo right now. This is a live picture from downtown Waterloo, looking at the storm as it moves into the region. Here is the southern edge of that warning. This is the line that is moving toward the east. Again, here is Conrad Golf Course. That'll be a 428. So right now, moving into that area. Holland, 430. Grundy Center, 434. Stout, 437. Dyke New Hartford High School, that'll be at 441. Gladbrook Rhinebeck High School, that is 445. In Zanetta, that'll be at 447. A bit farther to the south, that warning still continues. A storm does weaken a little bit at this point, but I'm still going to give you a track on this, even though it's still under that severe thunderstorm warning, and we'll take it out a bit farther here. This will be Conrad Golf Course. That'll be at 431. Any minute now. LeGrand at 437. Looking at Toledo Heights Park, that will be at 448, and Tama at 450. So in addition to the storms that are now into Tama County, we have the second. So there may be a lull as that storm initially that's going on right now moves towards the east. We are looking at another one moving towards the west. They're approaching Marshalltown and eventually into the area. Dan.
Okay, and I want to give another update. We'll go to Max 2 here. We've been seeing reports of some damage potentially in our southeastern areas, and this is that tornado that moved through Keokuk County. We've now seen a new warning here in effect for Iowa County, Johnson County, and Washington County. Again, we're always watching to see that rotation. This has been a confirmed observed tornado that has been touching on the ground, and you can see the rotation, that red kind of embedded with the green kind of in this area here, and maybe potentially a little bit in this area here. So again, I want to put a track on this to kind of show you the potential of where this could be headed here over the next maybe half hour or so. So again, this storm has been seen to be touching the ground in the Kedrick area and just a little bit farther west. So again, we'll put a track on this here just to kind of show you where this is going. And this one is moving incredibly fast. This is going at 65 miles per hour. So again, we'll put a track on this here and just kind of show you potential areas of where this is headed. So again, we'll throw this out here for about 25 minutes. So again, English River Wildlife Area, this is about 5 minutes. Mid Prairie High School, 437. Wyndham at 445 and Cosgrove at 447. So if you are in these areas, make sure to take cover. And we have a new warning here.
Yeah, new tornado warning. This is now for Butler County, Bremer County, Grundy County, and Hardin County. If we go over to Max 1, this is a tornado warning that is now in effect until 5:15. So if you live in Butler County, Bremer County, Grundy County, Hardin County, that will include towns of Ackley, Clarksville, Parkersburg, Waverly. This is north and west. It does catch our far northwestern part of Blackhawk County. It is the western part of Bremer County, a good portion of Butler County, and looking at northern parts of Grundy County. Again, this is a radar indicated. I'm going to put a track on this, moving northeast at about 50-55 miles per hour. Parkersburg, any minute now. Allison, 436. We've got this at Lepler Prairie Preserve, that will be at 443. Clarksville High School, that's at 446. Shell Rock County Park, that's at 449. Waverly at 456, and Horton just before 5 o'clock. This is a new tornado warning at this point, and you need to be taking shelter at this time. Again, we have a number of tornado warnings that do remain in effect. This is some of the areas that you need to be taking shelter. We've been talking about this all week. Places to go. Inside your house, the best place to be would be in a stairwell, in a hallway, in a closet, maybe in a bathroom. You want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Cover up your head with blankets, mattress, any kind of helmet, maybe a baseball helmet, bicycle helmet that you have, and get in your safe place. You need to move now because this storm is moving fast. If you've got a basement, that is your best place to be. Doesn't matter which corner, you want to be underneath something. So if you can, get underneath the stairs, get underneath the table that could be underneath there. But again, you need to be in your safe place now. Time is of the essence under these tornado warnings. These are moving fast at about 50 miles per hour.
We have now a brand new tornado warning. This just happened about a minute ago. So guys, we go over to Max 2. This is just a little bit farther south and east of that previous warning Mark was talking about. This is now for Blackhawk County, Grundy County, Marshall County, and Tama County. This is in effect for 5:15 p.m. Now this is radar indicated. Again, this has not been confirmed, but this has been having the potential of severe thunderstorm to be of producing a tornado. So again, we want to look at potential velocity to see maybe where there is that radar potential for rotation. So it looks like For now, maybe a little bit there, kind of in this north Marshalltown area, so I kind of point that out here. Just a little bit north of Marshalltown, this kind of area right here. But again, I want to show you another track here because a lot of this is heading right towards the Waterloo area, maybe just a little bit farther south. So let's put back the radar, and we'll put another track on this as we continue to monitor this as it continues to move off to the northeast at around 45 miles per hour. So let's enter in the speed here. So again, we'll throw this up. Let me zoom out a little bit here because again, this could be potentially affecting the Waterloo area. So put a track on this here and take this out to the northeast over about the next 52 minutes or so. So again, Conrad Golf Course, this is right now in your area. Gladbrook at 4:45 approximately. Gladbrook Rhinebeck High School, that area, about 4:55. Freedom Park at 5:07. Galloway Park at 5:14. And Waterloo about 5:18. I'm near that downtown area. So as Mark just mentioned, if you are in these areas, please take shelter. Get in interior room, away from windows, as many walls as possible.
We go to Max 1 for 1 second. If we could do that, we're going to go Katie Wadman here in 2 seconds. This is a tornado warning. This is a tornado warning for Iowa County, Johnson County, and Washington County. We've got our reporter Katie Wadman there. We're going to get to her in just a second. But you can see the tornado potential right now near Wellman. This is moving to the north and east in through parts of Iowa, Johnson, and the northern parts of Washington County. Katie, you're in Iowa City. Can you tell us what's going on and what's your vantage point, what you're hearing right now?
Yeah, you may be able to hear there are tornado sirens going off. We are in a tornado watch until 5:15 p.m. The city of Iowa City advises people to shelter in place. And as you can see behind me, traffic is still going. Hopefully they are, going home to seek shelter. And we are planning here to seek shelter in the next few moments. Live in Iowa City, Katie Wadman, News 7 KWWL.
Katie, you're in Iowa City there. I would please get out of there. Get to your safe spot. Go, Danny.
Yeah, let's 1 second here. We'll pull back up to the radar here. 1 second. Once this kind of loads in, let's see if we can.
Let's not go back to Katie. I don't want her out there. She needs to be inside someplace. I don't want Katie's live shot anymore, as of right now.
Okay, we'll go back to Max 2 here, and again, you're hearing a lot of these tornado warnings, tornado emergencies going out.
Go ahead, go.
So we're seeing a lot of these tornado warnings again popping up. You can see all of the red boxes across all of these areas. So again, please, if you are in any of these areas, we're in Blackhawk County here, Bremer County, Butler County, Grundy County. Again, just off to the southwest here in parts of Benton County, Buchanan County, Lynn County, just to the south there in Iowa County, Johnson County, Washington County. Basically everywhere west and central portions of eastern Iowa are under a tornado warning. So again, if you are in any of these areas or even just a little bit ahead, please make sure to take shelter. This could be a potentially dangerous situation, so we can continuously monitor this situation as we head throughout the afternoon. So let's kind of take it step by step here, just to kind of show you different tracks of these different tornado warnings. So first, we'll go to the far northern one here. This is for Bremer County, Butler County, Grundy County, and Hardin County until 5:15. Right now, it is currently radar indicated, but again, a lot of that can change very, very quickly. So this one, let me check the speed of this one, because again, we're seeing these move very, very fast off to the north and to the east. We've seen a lot of these around 40, 45 miles per hour. So again, this one looks like it's around 50 miles per hour. So let's kind of put a track on this here.
I want that one in Washington, Wellman County. Wellman in Washington County. That's moving to the north and east. Also, I don't know if we can pull. Go ahead.
All right,
Danny, go.
We'll go back to this one in Washington County again. So this was the Washington County one where we've had a confirmed large and potentially dangerous tornado on the ground here. So again, we'll move off to the north, to the east. This is just west of Iowa City. And again, it looks like we have a new tornado warning in effect that is now moving into portions of southeastern Johnson County. This is until 5 o'clock. So again, there's a lot of rotation with these storms. Some of these have been radar indicated, but again, the one near Iowa City, just southwest, that's the one we've been seeing that confirmed tornado on the ground. So again, let me kind of show you some of the rotation we're potentially seeing here. Again, a lot of this embedded in some of these areas. So right here, just northwest of the Kelowna area, you can see again that green. moving towards the radar, and then the red moving away. So again, we're seeing that rotation through the area. Also in the Washington County area, you can see kind of this red just to the northeast of the Washington area. And then again, as this continues to move off to the north and to the east. Mark?
Keep going.
Okay.
No, keep going.
So yeah, we'll track this one to the north and to the east. First, we'll do this one heading towards North Liberty. I believe this one's headed around 50-55 miles per hour. I want to confirm on that though. See if this. So yeah, we're seeing this one. Oh, this one's a little bit on the slower side. This one's only 35 miles per hour. But again, even if you are ahead of this storm, well ahead of this, please be sure to be careful. Again, this blinking just means it's continuing that severe, or that tornado warning rather. Again, so let's put this track to the north and to the east around 35 miles per hour. So again, this one, considerable damage, and we've seen reports of structures being ripped apart. So again, we'll show you this, kind of show you where this rotation has been as it continues to move off to the north and to the east here, again, right around 35 miles per hour off to the north and to the east. So the next kind of 35 minutes here. So Windham at 440, Cosgrove at 444, Coralville at 455, Centennial Park at 458, North Liberty at 501, and Lake McBride State Park. So again, this is the tornado we've been talking about over the past hour, so it's been very, very large, could be destructive. So please, if you are in any of these areas, please take shelter immediately in the lowest floor of your building in an interior room.
Several tornado warnings along this line of thunderstorms, max 1. Several, if you're in this area. Go ahead. If you're in this area, take shelter now. Butler County, Black Hawk County, Grundy County. Please, now.
And we've seen a lot of these lines of these tornadoes, again, up and down the western corridor. Again, a lot of these have been radar indicated, but they can become dangerous very, very quickly. So again, as Mark mentioned, if you are in any of these areas, as Mark mentioned, Black Hawk, Bremer County, Butler County, and Grundy County. So again, let's just kind of show you a couple of these tracks here as we continue to move off to the north and to the east. So again, we'll put a line on all of these just to kind of show you the general vicinity. Moving off to the northeast around 50 miles per hour. So again, we'll show you this here. Over the next, let's go hour or so. So again, if we kind of look up and down the area here, Allison 443 in that area, Freedom Park 455, the Waterloo downtown area 504, and many areas around this. This is not just the single areas. You see this line stretch all the way up and down from Allison through Grundy Center into portions of Tama County. So again, if you're in any of these vicinities, Fredericksburg at 521, Dewar 513, Fredericksburg High School, Sumner at 523, and Owine at 535, please take shelter in any of these areas because we have seen tornado warnings up and down these west central areas. So we continue to monitor that through the next couple of minutes or so. Let's see if we got anything else of new reports here coming in.
Yeah, I want to mention here winds. We've got extensive straight line wind damage located over Holland, over Grundy Center, moving northeast. Sirens are going off in every location at this hour. You need to be taking shelter now. This is a life-threatening situation. Please take shelter now. You've got a matter of minutes. You've got to get into your shelter in your safe place. This is damaging wind, an excess of 70 miles an hour. It's already doing confirmed damage. This is a confirmed tornado. Also in Iowa and Johnson County near Frytown, moving about 11 miles southwest of Iowa City, heading towards Iowa City. So another one that we're keeping an eye on very closely. This is a confirmed tornado southwest of Iowa City, heading in towards Iowa City. I need everybody in that area to take shelter now. Please, this is a very dangerous situation in Johnson County, confirmed tornado heading towards Iowa City. If you go to max 2 there, you'll be able to see the tornado warning that is in effect, and especially on the west side of town. We're looking at the area producing a tornado. It's moving west of Chester, north of Washington, and is moving north at about 45-50 miles per hour. In addition to the tornado warning back up into Black Hawk County, again, we've got extensive reports of extensive damage in some locations. I don't want to mention where they are yet, just because we're going to need some confirmation on this at this point. But it is around the Grundy County area, over towards Prairieburg, and it's moving toward the northeast. So Grundy Center, Black Hawk County, your sirens are going off right now. I need you to be taking shelter at this point. That also includes Black Hawk County, Cedar Falls, Bremer County, you need to be taking shelter now. Please get into your safe spot. You've got a matter of minutes. This could be a life-threatening movement if you don't take shelter now. You got to move. You got to move. In Bremer County, move now. Sirens are going off. Weather alerts are going off. Again, if you did everything right and signing on to all the alerts, your phone should be playing all kinds of music with all these tones of these alerts going off in your area. We have a line of thunderstorms, and that line is producing a potential tornado the entire way down. Multiple tornadoes. They need to be moving now. No, go ahead. Danny, go.
Yeah, we'll go again. I want to show you that Iowa City tornado again. Again, that has been kind of the root of this. We've seen confirmed tornado damage in this area. So again, if you are in the Johnson County area or just southeast there, in a little bit there in Washington County, please take shelter immediately. And let's look at the rotation here to see maybe potentially where this is at. So again, this is a this isn't overplaying. This is an impressive tornado signature. You can see the couplet rotating. Again, we've been talking about this.
In Martinsburg, this is in Keokuk County. This is the one that's been moving to the northeast, heading towards Johnson County. Again, this is a large tornado that has been on the ground, obviously tornado on the ground. This is out in the open so far, but there's some fields, buildings off to the side here. But this is a large tornado that is on the ground. This was near Keokuk County. It is heading northeast into Johnson County. You heard the sirens with Katie Wadman. The sirens were going off where she was. She is now into a safe place. They didn't want to hear that live shot until she was gone. In the safe spot. That's a tornado that needs to be taken seriously. This is life-threatening situation that we are in. We have a number of tornadoes that are in effect across portions of eastern Iowa. If we can have another, and I think you have another one, Meg, if we can go to that. I said if you have some other picture. Derek's downstairs going to punch the button here. So we've got the line of thunderstorms. This is going to be continuing here through the 5 and 6 o'clock time frame. There's the line of thunderstorms. I do want to show you that around the Allison area. You can see everything that's lit up right there. Anything east of that line, you need to be taking shelter at this point. This is Grundy Center, Allison, everything east of that line, you need to be in your shelter point now. That's 504, that's in Waterloo. Cedar Falls area about 5 o'clock. Fredericksburg, 521. Sumner Fredericksburg, high school. We've got Olwine at 532. Repeat that to me again, Meg. Kelowna in Iowa City. Okay, so we got double here. So this is where you got your wall cloud. There's going to be a tornado in here, and they did pan off to the left a second. No, there's the tornado right there. There's your wall cloud. There's your tornado. This is what? Correct me. Kelowna in Iowa City. That is just moments ago. So there's your tornado. You need to be taking shelter at this point. I did see what looked like somebody panned off to the left here was another. Just off to the side there, it looked like another funnel cloud at this point. But this is the parent storm right here. This is the one that in Johnson County need to be taking shelter. Yep. 2 tornadoes associated with this parent storm, and a lot of times you can get multiple tornadoes out of this, what they call fingers that'll roll around the big one. And this is the tornado wall cloud. There's your tornado right in there. There's your wall cloud. Again, there's that second one. You see it briefly off towards the left of your screen there, and that is moving in towards Johnson County. So you need to be taking shelter now. Danny. Yeah, well, I want to give you an update on this tornado because it has slowed down considerably. We've been seeing it going 50, 55 miles per hour. Now it is slowing down, and this is where things could get very, very dangerous. Let's go to Max 2 here. I want to show you again kind of where this is headed. So again, I showed you recently, obviously a lot of lightning with this, but again, please take shelter in these areas. This is now moving only to the north at around 30 miles per hour. So again, a very, very slow moving tornado. And you can see this rotation capable of producing both of those tornadoes in this area. So again, you see that couplet with the red combined with the green. Very, very destructive tornadoes now moved up into the portions of western Iowa City area and headed towards North Liberty. So again, please, if you are in these areas, take shelter immediately. It'll be near you very, very soon. I also want to just kind of give you an update on all of the other tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings we've been seeing over the past half hour just pop up here. So again, still nothing has changed in terms of the severe thunderstorm warnings, in terms of the tornado warnings. Every one of those have always been on the radar indicated side, but again, these can change in a hurry. They can touch on the ground and can cause life-threatening situations. So again, if you are in any of these areas, line up with this line stretching from parts of Butler County into Grundy County, now just on the edge of western Bremer and Blackhawk County, moving through western Tama County. And then we are watching on the backside here near Malcolm, another severe thunderstorm warning moving east into parts of Iowa County and Johnson County, and then also this tornado warning here in Benton, Buchanan, and Lynn. Max 1, if you can, if you're living in Johnson County, there's a tornado that is on the ground. It is west of Iowa City. It is located near Windham right now, and it is heading to the northeast, just west of Coralville, and it is heading near the North Liberty area. It is just near the center, Sharon Center in that region. So there's your tornado. It is going to be located right there. That is your tornado. Some of the areas that are going to be located, Unity Church, if you're in that area, around that region, St. Peter's Catholic Church in that region, so if you're near that. So we're looking at areas to the north and east of this as well. As it approaches Highway or Interstate 80, downstairs, if you can, Interstate 80 camera, I need that looking, well, the DOT is going to face that, but I need something just west of Coralville on Interstate 80. Any of those cameras, because they're going to have this pointing right at it as it moves into the region. So the DOT does help us with the National Weather Service in pointing the cameras right at that. That is a tornado warning. This is for Johnson County, North Liberty, and Tiffin. If you're in those areas, take shelter now. This is a confirmed tornado. You need to be down in your safe place. Please get there now. This is a life-threatening situation. Please, if you're west of Iowa City, in that area, you need to be taking shelter. I'm losing my voice. Taking shelter now. You need to go west of Oxford. It's moving to the north. It'll cross over Interstate 380. This is just south of Coralville, looking at the storm in that area. That is a tornado. That is west of Interstate 80. This is the western part of Johnson County. You need to be taking shelter now. This is potentially life-saving situation that you need to be making moves on to getting into your safe spot. I need to have everybody making it through this so we could talk about cold weather tomorrow. So get down into your safe spot now so that we can actually deal with some of this and enjoy the weekend. But right now, please get in your safe spot because there is a tornado that is on the ground. It will be crossing over Interstate 80 here as it moves towards North Liberty and Tiffin. Your time is of an essence. It is moving fast. You have a matter of minutes before this starts to push on into the region. Let's keep up the camera here, please, but just go to Max 2 on the overlay here. Again, just a reminder, please, if you are inside, if you can be inside, avoid windows, doors, and outside walls. Again, this should all be habit at this point, but again, it's of the essence, especially if you are in that southeastern Johnson County, Iowa County area, but also everywhere else where we're seeing these tornado warnings. Cover yourself with blankets or your mattress for protection. Maybe put a helmet on. Again, it maybe sounds ridiculous, but it could be saving for you. And again,
The safest place obviously to be is the basement. Avoid those outside walls. As we continue throughout this afternoon and this evening, if you're outside, again, avoid going under underpasses. It's like a wind tunnel almost, just kind of sucking in all of the air and actually creating more dangerous situations for you. So again, if you're outside, if you can somehow get into a building, a gas station, or somewhere close by where you can take shelter, please do so. Again, this is of the essence, as Mark's been mentioning, this is a potentially life-threatening situation, especially in that Johnson County area, moving towards the North Liberty area. This could be something very potentially hazardous. So I'll switch it, or we'll keep it on Max 2 here, but Mark's got something here new.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning that could be producing a tornado is near Gladbrook right now. It's about 10 miles southeast of Grundy Center, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Also for Black Hawk County, the severe thunderstorm warning, there's a severe squall line. That is the line that is both producing damaging wind as well as multiple tornadoes along that line. That is the line. Let me pull this up here. As you can see on Max 1 right there, that is the line that is going to be producing winds in excess of 70 miles per hour, and there have been reports of several tornadoes along this line that can be causing damage in that area. So I need you to be taking shelter at this point. If you're in the Black Hawk County area, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, Waverly, everybody needs to be taking shelter right now over towards Janesville. Looking at Reedland, yes, you're just outside of the warning, but I need you to take your shelter precautions now. Get to your safe place. Plainfield, it is past Allison. Your severe weather is to your east. You're in the clear, and you may be in the clear for the rest of the day. Parkersburg, your threat for severe weather is diminishing, so that is good news. Those in Black Hawk County, it's approaching Cedar Falls. Your wind should be picking up here momentarily. This storm is approaching Black Hawk Park. It is off to the west. We're looking at this over towards Benson. You could see this approaching. I'm going to zoom in really tight here for you guys. If we're on...
We'll switch over to Max 1, please.
Max 1. If you look at Ulrich Park, there's the dome right there. If you're west of the dome, Union Road westward, take shelter now, please. This is damaging wind and the possibility of a tornado. This is heading towards downtown Cedar Falls. This is heading towards downtown Waterloo. Everybody in... Go ahead.
Yeah, we have Colin outside real quick. Let's cut to him real quick because we want him to get back inside as soon as possible. So let's cut it to Colin quickly just to tell us what he's seeing out there, and then just kind of describe what you're seeing outside the studio here in Waterloo, and then I want you to get back inside as soon as possible. So what are you seeing out there, Colin?
Right, Danny, I can tell you just a few minutes ago, Waterloo, Black Hawk County shut the sirens off. It's really kind of an odd experience out here. To one side of me, we've got some blue, clear skies, but we're going to have Megan pan over here. This is what we're seeing kind of to the one side of the TV station out here. Look at those dark skies. Seen some pretty active lightning out there. So as you guys have been saying, it's important to be very careful. Know your plan, what to do on that. And as you mentioned, that wind is really starting to pick up out here. So we're going to get off here. We're going to send it back to the guys upstairs, and we're going to go inside.
Yeah, I want Colin in here. Colin is just outside our building, so he's okay. We're about a couple minutes out from that storm making it into our area. Cedar Falls, it is knocking on the door, and it is moving on into your area. New Hartford, it is hitting you. Janesville at the high school there, it is moving through your area. Cedar Bend County Park, that is moving right into the region. Clarksville High School, it is right there. Norton, it is right for you as it goes towards your direction. I'm going to take you right down this line. This is the Rotary Reserve out there on Union Road. It is now approaching you. Black Hawk Park as well. New Hartford, Cedar Falls, again, this is right near you. Wind should be picking up very quickly in that area. Dyke, New Hartford, it's probably pretty nasty now, but the storm is moving toward the east of you. As for right now, it is near Voorhees. Gladbrook Rhinebeck High School dealing with the storm right now. Buckingham also, and we are looking at that to move farther to the south. And we get farther to the south here, and this is where it becomes a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. We are looking at also tornado warnings in through portions of Benton and Johnson County. Take a look at this tornado potential here. This is near Center Point, and this is moving to the north and east. So if you're in Center Point or Walker, again, please, you need to be taking shelter at this point. There's a possibility of a tornado moving in your area. If not, there's a potential for damaging wind as well. Down to the south, these are two areas that we've been watching very carefully. This one is near Hills. This has a potential for a tornado in that area. I do want to change this for 1 second because that does not look good right there. Okay, that looks a little better than I was hoping. That it was hoping that it was not as bad, and that is not. So far so good, but I think I still need you to take shelter in the Hills area and areas to the north and east in that vicinity. Again, we're watching North Liberty, looking at that just to the south and west of North Liberty, west of Coralville. The sirens have been going off. You need to be taking shelter as this storm now moves. In addition to that, if it's not a tornado, these winds on the backside of this could be as much as 70, 75 miles per hour. Right.
After it's done, we're still going to see those strong winds. And we do have Brandon Libby. I think he's near Tiffin, that area, in that kind of North Liberty, Iowa City area. So if we can throw over to Brandon here. Just, Brandon, tell us what you've been seeing. Hopefully you guys have been safe. What have you guys been experiencing here over the past 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, hey guys, so we are currently on I-80 near Tiffin. We are just to the west of the circulation that's now near Coralville. You're getting a lot, we've seen a lot of debris in the roadway, in the interstate. In fact, a little piece of debris did hit the bottom of our car as it just kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of cars pulled over here on I-80. They've got their flashers on. We've seen State Patrol. So it looks like that circulation is crossing the interstate. Again, we're just to the west of it right now, heading eastbound towards Coralville, but you can see a lot of traffic. Everybody's got their hazards on. The rain's been coming down very hard. And we have come across some debris. I don't know what that was from, whether it was winds, because I think it was a little bit outside of the tornado. But we have come into some debris in the road on I-80, so be aware of that. Traffic's a lot slower. People have their hazards on. You have State Patrol everywhere as well. So we're trying to watch the circulation as it goes to the north of I-80, and we're going to try to follow it from there and see what we see. I'll let you guys know.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Please stay safe out there, and Mark, we'll talk to you with something here.
Yeah, we got video here. This is taken in near Wellman. You could see that this tornado, and obviously that's a large tornado. This is in Wellman, Washington County, and this continues to move in the northeast now, probably into Johnson County. So obviously this has a history of producing some severe weather. Eventually they're going to pan off to the left here. We've got the leading edge of that storm. Play that one more time if we could. So there's the tornado. So storm spotter right there, crossing over the highway. There's the debris, large tornado. Debris all in this area. Crossing over, you can see the inflow right there into that storm. You could see the air just rushing right into that as the storm pretty much destroys whatever is in that spot right now as it continues to move to the east. Meg, we also said you got something, Cedar Falls and UNI. Let's see the camera there. This is a camera bouncing around. This is a live picture from Cedar Falls on the campus at UNI as that storm rolls into the picture. This is the line of storms that I was telling you about that you need to be taking shelter. Winds could be in excess of 70 miles per hour. When everybody's safe in Black Hawk County, Cedar Falls, Waterloo, Evansdale, Dewar, looking to north into Waverly, Janesville. These are all areas that are under the threat for damaging wind and an isolated tornado along this. So please take shelter at this point. Looking outside here in downtown Waterloo, I haven't seen a whole lot of anything yet, but that will be changing here pretty quickly. If we go to the radar on, I think that's Max 2, that's got that radar.
Yeah, we'll show you, Max. That was the storm you guys were just seeing there on camera. We'll zoom in here to the Cedar Falls area. So again, we'll throw it to now. So again, it's just on the western edge there of Waterloo downtown area, and also just kind of right over downtown Waverly as well. Again, this is just this long line of very strong straight line winds and the potential for those tornadoes to be dropping down. And this continues to move off to the west, or excuse me, from west to east, around 50-55 miles per hour. Again, this is very strong storms moving very, very quickly. So I want to just kind of throw a track on this whole line of storms as it continues to move. And as you can see off to the west, the good news is this is the last line of defense. So once this is over, it is done. But we still have a long ways to go with these storms. Again, it can cause a lot of damage through these areas.
We've got reports of major structural damage in the Hills area. Confirmed tornado near Iowa City, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you can go back to Iowa City there. There's the latest report, a confirmed tornado near Iowa City, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. If you live within a 30-mile radius of Iowa City, you need to be taking shelter now. This is a dangerous situation, and it is moving through your area. The sirens have been going on. Warning is out. This is a tornado that is moving northeast. This is a confirmed tornado moving northeast. This thing is moving fast, 60 miles per hour. Minutes may be life-altering. So please go now to your safe place. I need you there right now. North Liberty, north of Iowa City, Newport. This is all moving to the north and east. This went through Tiffin. Hopefully everybody's okay there and there isn't any problems. I just need you to take shelter in the area. This will be Lake McBride State Park. Newport, that'll be at 5:05. Morse at 5:07. And Solon, also 5:07. I need you to take shelter now, please.
Yeah, and you can see Solon, obviously not very close, but it's moving very fast, as Mark mentioned, around 60 miles per hour. So again, if you are in those areas, please take shelter. We've seen, as Mark mentioned, confirmed damage. We've seen numerous reports of tornadoes on the ground. That's that tornado that is moving through the North Liberty area, and you can see this impressive line of this velocity. You can see the green mashing up with this red, and you can see the couplet here, this rotation of this storm as it goes up and down just northeast of North Liberty and even into parts of Iowa City. So again, we could have multiple tornadoes in just this one kind of area stretching from North Liberty to Iowa City. So let's kind of zoom out here again to show you the big picture. I want to throw radar back on, excuse me. I'll just kind of show you big picture of what we are seeing currently at this moment. So again, we're starting to see a little bit of clearing off to the west, which is good. Okay, Grundy County, parts of western Butler County. So again, this is the last of it. This is the last defense, but we still have a lot to deal with here. A lot of lightning, a lot of strong winds, and a lot of rain. And it looks like here, the good news is, in parts of Butler County, Bremer County, Black Hawk County, the tornado warnings have been canceled. So obviously that's good, but we still have the potential for that tornado to drop, and those straight line winds are very strong. And so you look again, the Waverly, we can see gusts of 70-80 miles per hour. You see that in the Independence area, 70 to 80 miles per hour. So again, threat's not over. Tornado warnings might be over in those areas, but we're still seeing those strong winds, and we could see some destructive damage, and the tornado is still possible throughout tonight.
In Black Hawk County, the warnings along that line that we were talking about earlier, the tornado warnings have been allowed to be canceled, or they've canceled them, or they have dropped, still under a severe thunderstorm warning. So Bremer County, Black Hawk County, Grundy County, now under a severe thunderstorm warning at this point. The tornado warning has been dropped at this point. This is a live picture from Waterloo Tech Works building. And you can see the clouds there and the storm pushing on into the region. We've got some gusty wind, but the threat for any tornado at this point is not there. This is going to be straight line winds as they push on into the region. Again, this is a live look of downtown Waterloo at the Tech Works campus there, just off of 218, and this is the storm as it pushes eastward into the area. And again, this storm has weakened as it's gotten into Black Hawk County, so that is good news. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Buchanan County as that thunderstorm continues to move northward, and then we're also looking at some thunderstorms out to the west moving eastward. So in Buchanan County, you're going to be with these thunderstorms for about another half hour or so, but they are racing quickly on towards the north and east. So you can see the storms that are located right there. We've got potential potential. Yes, winds up around 80 miles per hour with this thunderstorms in Buchanan County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45. So you need to be taking shelter now. 1-inch diameter size hail. And this continues to move in the northeasterly direction. Down to the south is where we have all the tornado warnings that remain in effect in this area, moving to the northeast.
Yeah, just again, I want to continue to talk about this tornado warning in that southeastern area, because again, that's obviously the biggest area of concern. We obviously have concerns over all of eastern Iowa, but the main concerns here are over that southeastern tornado still. We still have that tornado confirmed on the ground, and you can see right there on your screen that impressive velocity, that rotation, that red intermixed with that green. So where that red kind of funnel, that tornado is, that's where the tornado is right now. So if you're just southwest of Solon, please take shelter immediately. Near the Sutliff area, again, please take shelter immediately. Looks like, again, the North Liberty area, we're still seeing those strong winds. So again, it's not over once the rain ends. We're still seeing winds 50, 60 miles per hour, but we are, again, continuing to see this move off to the north and to the east. And then this is a quick moving tornado. This is 60 miles per hour, so it'll be here before you know it. So please, again, take shelter in those areas.
Does Brandon need information, or is this a little bit earlier? Is Brandon available? Anybody? Do we have any pictures of
This was earlier.
This was earlier? Okay.
Yes.
So Solon, in that area, you can see there just west of Cedar Bluff, areas to the north and east towards Mount Vernon. So those in Mount Vernon, Solon to Mount Vernon, Ely, you all need to be taking shelter now. Please, you need to get to the lowest level of your building. Center of your building. I want as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is a confirmed tornado that is moving towards the Solon or into the Solon area at this point. Here's a closer look at this. This will be moving right now pretty quickly into the Solon area. So please, if you're in Solon, I need you to be taking shelter now into your safe place as the storm moves northeast. It is moving fast. It's 50, 60 miles per hour. We've got a number of reports of power outages in Keokuk and Washington County. We're probably up around 10 and 15,000 people without power in those locations due to this storm. It is moving northeast and will produce a tornado heading towards Solon. So if you're in Solon or surrounding somewhere near Solon, I need you to take shelter at this point. It is moving towards the northeast at about 60 miles per hour. The area to the north of that also, the warning extends all the way towards Mount Vernon. So this goes out a bit of a distance. Put a track on this and give you a time frame on that. You should be in your safe place now, but you've got 5:17 for Mount Vernon is your time of arrival. Solon, your time is now. You need to be in your safe place at this point as it moves to the northeast. We are dealing with the potential for a damaging tornado moving through Solon at this point, heading towards Mount Vernon. I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter here. I want to try and pick out a few more locations. Saddlebrook Ridge Golf Course. We have some areas, Lake McBride State Park, Solon Nursing Care Center in that region, St. Peter and Paul Church. We have some locations north and east of that'll be over towards Sutliff. We are dealing with the Herald, South Cedar natural area. Farther to the north and east is the town of Mount Vernon, and that is where I need you to be taking shelter now. You are next in line in this. This is heading in your direction. You got about 5, maybe 10 minutes. These are moving fast. Please get down into your safe place now. I need you down in your basement, interior room, or get to your shelter. You've got about 5 minutes before this storm gets to you when it comes to the circulation. I know it's raining right now and it is pouring. I need you to get to your safe place right now in Mount Vernon. This storm is in Solon. It is moving through the Solon area. You are under a tornado warning. This is a confirmed tornado that is moving through Solon and it is heading toward the northeast towards Mount Vernon. I need you to be taking shelter now. Please do so as we get this storm through the area. It is moving fast, 60 miles per hour. Number of tornado warnings still to the south here. I'm going to look and see. I don't see any circulation with any of these, but some very strong wind on the backside of this from West Branch to Iowa City, over towards Mills, and then to the north and east. This is moving through the area. I know Katie Wadman was down there in Iowa City. I wanted her in a safe spot. If she's available at any point to give even a phoner or something, we need to be in that area. Farther to the northeast and around the Iowa City area. The threat for severe weather is diminished in the Iowa City area, so if we can maybe get her up on the line and see what happened, what was she experiencing at that time as it moves in, so give people in advance of this a little bit of an idea of what is heading in this direction or their direction.
Yeah, we've seen a number of reports of very strong wind gusts, even behind the front. We've seen 75 miles per hour, so 70 miles per hour near the Belle Plaine area. Now, this is in Benton County. Again, at least 70 miles per hour. That's, again, behind this storm. We're still seeing it, as well as in Garrison County, or Garrison City, near Benton County, also 70 miles per hour. So we've seen a lot of areas starting to see these winds move through. Looks like report of a tornado crossing near West Branch, debris lifted, so yeah, crossing I-80. Again, so we've been seeing a lot of these strong winds on the backside, even though the tornado or the severe thunderstorm warning or the line of storms is still moving out. We're still seeing the brunt of that wind still moving through, even with these storms finishing up. And it will still last maybe about an hour to 2 hours after the storm moves through. So again, just because the rain is done or the hail's done, or the tornado may be done, we still have those strong winds, so please be careful and be safe as we continue to head throughout this evening, because we still have that threat for those strong straight-line winds, even without the storm complex maybe necessarily being in the area.
In our western counties, you've got that line of storms that are passing. So we run from Black Hawk County, the western part of Black Hawk County. You are in the clear. Things will be improving. Actually, you'll probably see a little sunshine here. Looking at areas up towards New Hampton, still under the threat for severe weather. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for New Hampton. That is with some damaging wind as you move towards the east. It's moving quickly. These will be moving northeast very fast. This line of thunderstorms extends all the way to the south through Black Hawk County, Bremer County, down to the south in Tama County. Tama County, you're just about in the clear. Everything in the eastern part of the county, still a threat for severe weather. Benton County, Iowa County, Williamsburg in that area. Malcolm over into Poweshiek County, Mahaska County, you're in the clear. The threat for tornado continues in Johnson County and is moving to the northeast. It does include the southeastern part of Lynn County. This storm is located, the tornado is located just northwest of Solon, between Solon and Mount Vernon. If you live in those areas, I need you to be taking shelter now. That is Highway 1. This thing is going to be running right up Highway 1 at this point. There's a confirmed tornado. It is moving to the northeast, and in that area, I need you to be taking shelter. Take your precaution now. Please do not waste any time in doing this. This one is in Hills. They said that it was rain-wrapped tornado in that area from earlier.
Yeah, and again, rain-wrapped tornado means there's just so much...
That's not a good situation there. You can't see it.
You can't see, and that's the problem with a lot of these. We have these high precipitation supercells, which is going on today. You can't necessarily see the tornado, so you might be saying, well, where is it? Again, you don't want to take that risk. We want you to stay inside. As Mark mentioned, even though it is raining, we're still seeing the potential for those tornadoes. So, when we mention rain-wrapped or these high precipitation supercells, that means the rain, literally what it means, it literally is wrapping around the tornado and you can't see it. That's what makes these so dangerous. So again, even if you are in these areas and you might not be saying, okay, where's the tornado? We have confirmed it is on the ground north of Solon, headed towards the Mount Vernon area. We just saw that radar update again. So let's put a new kind of tornado track on this. I believe it's still moving to the northeast, around 60 miles per hour. Again, a very, very fast moving storm. I want to confirm the number on that. Looks like now it is moving at 40 miles per hour, so I want to put a track on this tornado just over Highway 1, headed northeast towards Mount Vernon. So again, we'll put a track on this here, moving to the northeast around 40 miles per hour. So we'll stretch this out here to the north and to the east. over the next 40 minutes or so. So again, Mount Vernon, about 10 minutes here, please take shelter. Martell at 5:35, Fairview at 5:41, Anamosa 5:45, and Cass at 5:52. And if we zoom in even farther, just to see a couple of areas close by. So again, it's just about to hit Highway 30 near, again, Mount Vernon, just right over the downtown area. Potential for that tornado to be touching down. Areas crossing over West Mount Vernon Road. Just a little bit west of Sutliff there, crossing into that crossing into that area near Johnson County as well as into Lynn County.
Yeah, that confirmed tornado is near Center Bluff, or about West Branch area as mentioned. Confirmed tornadoes, and they're moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This is the last report. This is a confirmed tornado in this area, moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Just information that hit the hills was rain wrapped. We've got reports of the tornado on the ground near hills or near West Branch, as well as Cedar Bluff, moving northeast. It is also located west of Springdale. This is a tornado warning for Cedar and Johnson counties. For Johnson County, this is moving toward the northeast. So you got South Cedar County Park, and that is the area of concern, and northeast is where we are looking at the possibility of severe weather to continue, and this is a dangerous situation.
Yeah, it looks like, as of right now, the direction looks like they'll kind of ride that Highway 1. So again, anywhere if you're really close to Highway 1, again, please take shelter immediately. We're continuing to see a confirmed tornado on the ground. So it looks like they've moved this a little bit farther ahead to the northeast here into portions of, again, Cedar County, Jones County, and now southeast Lynn County. This is in effect until 5:45. As Mark mentioned, moving to the northeast around 40 miles per hour. So again, please take shelter in those areas. And it looks like a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Again, nothing new information there. Again, just reemphasizing the fact that we have all three here of the hail potential, of the wind potential, and the tornado potential in these areas. And then again, just kind of giving you one last overview of the area. If I can switch back to radar here.
There's new warnings in there as well.
New warnings in there as well? Okay.
Yep.
So we got a new warning here in effect.
Go to max 1 for a second.
Let's go to max 1.
They'll set up that the warnings there for Delaware, Dubuque, Johnson, and Jones County. This is Anamosa, Fairview, Iowa City, Manchester. It is just west of Dubuque. It has to do with this entire line of storms that is pushing through. So what's happening here is that first line that's coming through, that one is, it started out as individual storms. It's now becoming a line of storms. That is going to take most of the energy out of the atmosphere, and what will happen is that second line that is now moving through Black Hawk County and Bremer County, that one will move through, but not as intense because that first line took a lot of the energy. Right. It used up all the energy in the atmosphere, or at least a good portion of it. Right,
and that's the good news. But the bad news is, again, we still have the potential for damage in these areas. As Mark mentioned, we're seeing those eastern storms take up a lot of the energy. There was so much of it. That's why we had that level 5 out of 5 risk. There was a ton of energy in this area, and that high risk basically outlining the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area where we're seeing that confirmed tornado. But again, as we're progressing later into the evening, the good news is on the western side of this, we're still going to have the straight line winds even when the storms are out of here, but they are starting to weaken a little bit on the western edge. But when you see these line of storms, they're usually indicative of these straight line winds, especially how fast they're moving. Again, these are moving to the west, to the east, around 50 miles per hour for the most part. So again, we're seeing the potential for these severe thunderstorms to continue moving to the west and to the east, but of course, the main concern areas here are still those tornado warnings to the south and to the east in parts of southeast Lynn County, in parts of Jones and Johnson County, and then as it continues to move up to the north and to the east.
Go to max, well, you're on max 1 there. This is Cedar and Johnson County. Looks like a new tornado warning just popped up there. I'll get to that here in just a second. First, this tornado warning that remains in effect. This one right there would be the center of your circulation moving to the northeast. This is a confirmed tornado. Lime City 524, Sunbury at 531, No Liberty 534, Hickory Grove at 539, Buena Vista at 541, and Calmus, that'll be at 543. That is moving in your neck of the woods. This is a confirmed tornado that is in effect until 5:30. Again, just to the north here, Looks like there was an update to this, and this one is for Cedar, just north of Buchanan. This is now down to the south. There's West Branch, and this is moving into Cedar County. And then there's that other one near Mount Vernon, where that extends up northward, and that is a tornado warning now for Cedar, most of Jones, and the eastern parts of Lynn County, not including the city of Cedar Rapids. This is towards the east. You need to be taking shelter now. Mount Vernon, Martell, again, this is following right along Highway 1 as it moves northward. So even though you're not on Highway 1, Springville, I need you to be taking shelter now at this point. Anamosa, I need you to be taking shelter now. This is coming in your direction. This is moving northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So we're going to put a track on this, and you'll see that Anamosa at 534, Jackson 535, Fairview at 531, and Martell at 527. I think you got Brandon.
Yeah, we have Brandon. I believe he's in the Solon area. I think we got him live now. He's on the screen. So Brandon, if you can hear us, tell us what you've been seeing. I believe you're in the Solon area, correct?
Yeah, so we're currently in Solon right now. Here, I'll flip the camera around. We've been seeing some minor damage around, some branches, trash cans were thrown around, a flagpole was bent. So we just got into town and we're just kind of looking, but you can see the debris there in the street. So again, this is Solon right now, and most of the storms we're not going to be able to catch. So we're basically going and backtracking to where some of these tornadoes may have come through. So there you see some of the branches down in Solon, and we'll keep driving around and looking here to see if we see anything else. But so far everything looks to be fairly minor in Solon, but we just got into town, so we'll keep our eyes open.
Okay, appreciate one. We'll go to one and see. That's where we've got Brandon was talking about Solon. There's Iowa City. And that is where the storms are now passing northeast of Solon. The storm is now near Tipton, moving towards the Clarence area, and that's the area that we're watching carefully with the circulation that is located southwest of Clarence, so probably somewhere in about here that we have that tornado. Also near Tipton. This is heading right into Tipton, so I need you to be taking shelter now. You should be in your safe spot. That is your tornado. It is just to the southwest or moving through the Tipton area at this point. So please take shelter now. This is moving through your area. Wald, you're also in this, and this will continue to move northeast. So as of right now, this is northeast of Cedar Valley and is heading towards Tipton. This is a confirmed tornado. This has a potential for doing some damage in the area. It is just to the southwest of town. We're now moving into town of Tipton. So please, when you're in this area, you need to be taking shelter at this point. We're looking at that storm moving fairly quickly as well. These are moving at about 60 miles per hour. Latest report from spotters that this storm is moving 60 miles per hour northeast. There was actually a second tornado northeast of Cedar Bluff. Tornado was producing a storm near Tipton. Airport there, Matthews Airport over Tipton, moving northeast. A second tornado is located northeast of Cedar Bluff. So got a number of tornadoes associated with that thunderstorm. So please, again, if you're in that area, you need to be taking shelter in your safe place right now. Our western counties are doing pretty good. I want to go back here. I do want to show you who still remains in effect. What's an update here if they've cleared out some of these things, sort of given all clear on some of these locations. This is the tornado watch that still remains in effect. They've been chopping away at the risk for severe weather. That will continue to become less and less of an area that will provide with showers and thunderstorms. So any place within this line that is, we'll say, any place right in here, any place west of that line, severe weather threat is over. Any place east of that line, we're still dealing with some thunderstorms, and the farther east you live right now still has the higher threat of severe weather with the damaging wind. These storms up to the north are not severe, except for New Hampton. That is a severe thunderstorm warning for Chickasaw County. And then we go a bit farther to the south here, Bremer County, that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. But that is warning east and weekends. Buchanan County still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Delaware County here, Manchester, also under a severe thunderstorm warning with the storms moving northward, farther to the south. Again, the leading edge of the first line of storms that is pushing on through is going to take a lot of the energy away from that second line when it comes to the potential for some severe weather. And then you get farther to the south, and then we get this one line that's moving. I mean, this thing is moving really fast northeast. I mean, just look at the time. This is a 1-hour loop, and you take it from south of Iowa City to northeast of Tipton. I mean, that is impressive on speed on this line. So with that, you only need maybe a 10-mile-an-hour wind coming down from up above, and you got winds up around 70 miles an hour.
Right. Right, exactly. We do have a new tornado warning to toss you about, so let's go to Max 2 on this one. This is in Delaware County, right over the Manchester area. This is in effect until 6:15 p.m. This is radar indicated, but again, this is for Delaware County. I want to see how fast this one has been moving here. I believe this one's been moving about, let's see, 35 miles per hour, so a little bit on the slower side, but as Mark's mentioning, these can pick up very fast in intensity. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Moving out to the east at around 35 miles per hour. So I'll put a track on this area here through the Manchester area. So basically right over Manchester, just to the west and northwest of Dyersville. So you'll put an area here, go off to the north and to the east. So again, Earlville here at 540, so you move off to the north and the east. Petersburg at 546 and New Vienna at 554. If we zoom in just even a little bit more, we'll continue to see here again these areas. So just again west of Earlville, basically riding along Highway 20, so north and south of Highway 20. Maybe we'll look at rotation a little bit. Maybe we'll see if anything is popping up here. Okay, so there maybe is a little bit here just south of Manchester. Just south of Highway 20, you see there's a little bit of that rotation couplet. So again, please be careful in these areas. That's where we can see a little bit of the rotation. So again, if you're in the Manchester area, eastward along Highway 20, please take shelter. And I think Meg was telling me we do have Brandon in the Iowa City area, Solon area, excuse me. So let's throw it over to Brandon. I think he's got an emergency vehicle there. And Brandon, just tell us what you're seeing out there.
Hey, Danny. Yeah, thanks. So we're kind of just exploring Solon right now, and you got a little bit of structural damage here with that building. This is basically on the corner of Market Street and Main Street in Solon. So you have some of these emergency vehicles making sure everybody's safe here and, preventing people from going up to the damage and whatnot. But that's the situation that we've seen so far. This is the worst we've seen in Solon, besides the branches down, random little debris down. But this is the biggest structural damage that we've seen. And then I think we'll make our way over to Mount Vernon to see, what that's looking like after some of that rotation moved through that area. So this is what we're seeing right now, guys.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Yeah, we'll show you again kind of the area north and east of Solon where we've been seeing that rotation. So again, let's throw it back to Max 2 if we can, just to kind of show you what the current tornado warning situations look like right now. So we did have that one in Delaware County, and we still have these in our southeastern areas. So again, you can see kind of along this line just southwest of Anamosa in portions of southeast Lynn County as well as in Jones County. So again, we have this tornado warning in effect until I believe about 5:45. So again, if you are in these areas, please take shelter immediately. These are faster moving to the northeast around 50 miles per hour. We have another tornado warning in effect for 5:45 again into Cedar County and in Jones County. So again, basically two kind of right on top of each other. This one headed more towards the Olin area near Oxford Junction, and then another one here far southeast into Cedar County, just east of Rochester. And I think we're going to show Mark on the plasma here with a little bit of damage. I think we're ready to go, Mark. Let's go over to Mark plasma.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage. This is Kyoto. Sad situation here. I mean, we've got debris all over the farm field. I mean, this is houses, outbuildings, barns. You can see the trees destroyed there. I mean, this person's life has been uprooted in many respects here. I mean, look at the house. I mean, there's not a lot there. I mean, there's the foundation. So, I mean, the debris is gone, and you can see the debris strewn all the way out in the distance there. Again, this is Keota in that area, so this is the kind of situation that we're trying to avoid. We want you in your safe spot. Hopefully there's been no injuries or fatalities associated with this, but this is the kind of situation that we're unfortunately thinking that may happen with these thunderstorms today if we got to a structure, because these are large tornadoes that passed on through. Again, this is Keota in that vicinity as it moved to the north and east and moved into the area. So that was a little bit earlier. Obviously the storm is no longer in the Keota area, but is moving to the north and east. And this is a decent sized building, it looks like. I mean, there's not anything left. I mean, there's literally the basement or the foundation of the system of the building. You can see off in the distance the debris. I mean, you can see the bark on some of that. The trees are snapped, some stuff ripped around, wiped into the trees. So a scary situation, I'm for sure, for those folks in that area. So please be thinking about them in that area. Hopefully there aren't any more reports like this, but as you can see, there's a lot of debris off in the distance there.
Yeah,
scary situation.
Yeah, very
really
scary situation. I mean, again, we obviously never hope for this, and you can prepare as much as possible, but sometimes when the weather comes, it does what it does, and unfortunately this is what happens, and it really sucks to see. So again, and
that's the reason why we tell people that you need to be taking shelter,
right? Because
things like that, I mean, nothing is 100% safe with these tornadoes, so you try and play the best odds on what is the best way to stay safe during a tornado if my location gets hit with a tornado. And obviously, hopefully, again, that person or those people are safe because they did get into safety. But looking at that, there's a lot of structural damage there.
Right, absolutely. Hopefully, this is limited with that damage. I believe. Did we dare to say Camp 4 here? Okay, so we've been getting reports in the Johnson County area. We've been seeing damage in Hills, in the Coralville area, down by Friedtown. We're seeing a lot of structural damages to homes and other buildings and injuries still. This is from the Johnson County Emergency Management. Again, there are confirmed injuries and structural damage in Johnson County. So, and we're still assessing the damage, or they're still assessing the damage rather, in Johnson County, again, to see what remains of the damage there. And again, this is part of the storm here that we're seeing. We also have been getting reports here. The Sheriff's Office, we saw that in Keota there. Keota there, where we saw damage in Keokuk, half-mile west, power lines down, houses significantly damaged, and we have been seeing a lot of damage, especially with these southeastern storms. So again, we're still assessing and seeing, hopefully, again, that damage is very limited, but we still do have these tornado warnings in effect for our southeastern areas. Parts of Cedar and Jones County, that tornado, again, still is confirmed on the ground, so please take shelter in those areas.
All right, we've got a camera shot that we're going to go to. This is Cedar Rapids. This is a shelf cloud as it pushes into the area, and that is going to produce some pretty gusty winds. That is the second line that's coming through, so the brunt of your storm has passed. This is your second line that's pushing on through. Once this moves by, it will rain pretty hard for a short period of time, but once this passes by you here in Cedar Rapids, your threat for any thunderstorms or severe weather will be over. So you're still under this severe thunderstorm warning. At this point, there will be some gusty winds out of this. Could be 50, 60 miles per hour. But this is a live picture in Cedar Rapids. This is moving towards the east, and this will produce winds up around 50 to 60, maybe as high as 70 miles per hour. This will push eastward, and as it does so, for a brief period of time, we'll get some heavy rain, and then once this passes by, you are in the clear for the rest of the night. So that is some good news there. The first round that you saw pushing to the east towards Anamosa, we're also watching some reports that are rolling on into the picture here in Vinton, of reports of barns down in Vinton with the initial line that went through, and that could have been a possibility of a tornado. That was at 4:45, 1 mile northwest of Vinton. That is in Benton County. These are reports that are now starting to come in, and that is what is the typical time frame on how things are going to be occurring, where the severe weather occurs, and then at some point we'll get some pictures and video, and then it sort of trickles down as emergency managers first responders get to locations, and then as they get to those locations, then we give some information that'll come out to the National Weather Service and pass on so we can get to there. So again, everything is first responders, make sure everybody's okay and safe, and then pass the information along to us to pass along so that people downstream know what's going on. Because a lot of times it's, you know, I need to see what's happening before I take shelter.
Yep.
And that's just the nature of people.
Right.
They need to see it to what's going on. So unfortunately, there is a lot of damage, and you can see a number of the tornadoes that are passing by. And so we're starting to get some of those reports that are coming in. Again, hopefully they're safe. Again, this is wind barns are down near the Vinton area. This is in Benton County. Which came through with the that initial line, whether it's straight line winds or a tornado. That's a little different story. I noticed off to the side over your shoulder, I see there's some power lines down. I don't know if you want to jump over there and talk about those.
Yeah, well, first, there is a new tornado warning in effect. So let's take it full on Max 2 first, and we'll jump over to Brandon's photo. So this first one's in Delaware County. This has been confirmed. We've seen a confirmed tornado on the ground near the Manchester area, moving to the northeast around 40 miles per hour. So we'll show you kind of the rotation of this. And again, we were kind of mentioning this earlier. We could see potentially maybe a little bit of this rotation kind of just a little bit northeast of the Manchester area. So I want to again confirm the information that I've been seeing. Again, we saw a tornado warning located over Delaware near Manchester, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. And then we have another tornado warning in effect. Let's go to the jump of that second one here. This is in effect just to the south and to the east, moving into parts of northeastern Jones County, in Delaware County, and now into Dubuque County. And this one, again, this was a tornado-producing storm moving to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So we got a couple of new tornadoes here. First, the Manchester one at 40 miles per hour, and then we have the one to the southeast at 55 miles per hour. Yeah, this is confirmed as a large and extremely dangerous tornado located over Delaware or near Manchester, and it's moving about 40 miles per hour. So you can see that there on the radar. The dangerous tornado. This is a confirmed tornado in Delaware, over towards the Earlville area. Need to be taking shelter. This is north of Highway 20 and just east of Manchester. And this will continue to move to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So if you live in Delaware County, you need to be taking shelter at this point. This is a dangerous situation. I need you in your safe spot now. Please get in there. A large and extremely dangerous tornado is located, or was recently located, over Delaware County and is moving toward the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. We've got reports in Shellsburg that let's see here. Things are moving so fast, they're scrolling past. In Shellsburg, emergency manager reporting in at 70-mile-an-hour winds that have passed on through. Lisbon Fire Department reporting buildings being lost from about the 900 block of Highway 30 through 1080 North Washington. So again, this is in Lisbon. This is near North Washington. Lisbon, and the 900 block of Highway 30 through 1080 North Washington. So not the town of North Washington. This is the road, 1080 North Washington. So this is the fire department's reporting, the Lisbon Fire Department reporting buildings being lost in that area. Yeah, I want to show you kind of the second tornado warning now. This is in more of the Jones County area, moving into the northeast, into the Dubuque County area. We've seen a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located near Oxford Mills, or 8 miles east of Stanwood, moving northeast at around 35 miles per hour. So again, we still have a couple of threats here with these tornadoes, not only in Delaware County, but moving off to the north and to the east, and even off to the southeast there, just on the edge of Jones and in Cedar County. But I want to talk in particular with this tornado kind of near the Anamosa area. This continues to move off to the north and to the east, because again, we're seeing large, potentially dangerous tornadoes in this area. So I want to put a track on this. Again, moving to the northeast, I believe, it's at around 35 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on this. And we are still seeing these potential for large and dangerous tornadoes on the ground, as we've been seeing over the next half hour to hour or so. So again, we'll put this track here for 35 miles per hour and extend it off to the north and to the east here. So again, just about northeast of Anamosa, and continue to move off to the north and to the east. So again, Central Park in about 3 minutes. Again, please take shelter. Scotch Grove 5:50, Monticello around 5:52, Sand Springs at 6 o'clock, Cascade at 6:08, Worthington at 6:11, and Dyersville at 6:20. So again, if you are in these areas, please take shelter. We're still seeing these tornadoes being confirmed and on the ground and potentially large and dangerous in these areas. So again, just as a recap here, we're still seeing tornado warnings in effect for Delaware County, in parts of eastern Delaware, as well as in southern Dubuque County, in parts of Jones County, and into Cedar County. And this is kind of the last of it here, but again, we'll continue to see this move off to the west and to the east. And I think we're going to pull up here. I'll head over to the plasma here. I think we have some reports of some power outages, I guess.
Keep going.
All right, okay, we'll go to this first. Again, we've seen a lot of power outages in the area. So first, Johnson County, about 10% of the area, 6,327 of people out in Johnson County. Let's move a little bit farther. This has improved. We have seen improvement in those areas, but still about 351 people out as well. Let's move up to the north here. I believe that's Blackhawk County, 1,200 people there. And Meg, I want to confirm this. You said emergency management, besides a couple of tree limbs down, not much damage in Blackhawk County?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's confirmed. So that is good news there. Obviously, we want to minimize damage as much as possible. And then we'll go up to the northwest here. I believe that's Butler County there. That last yellow one there. Yeah, Butler County. So about 204 people out. So we still have a lot of power outages. We're still continuing to work with that. Meg, do you mind pulling up the tweet from Brandon? I think he said he had some power lines down. Yeah, so this is, again, we've been showing him in the Solon area, and this is about Highway 1 north of Solon, and you can see massive power lines down in these areas, and this can be particularly dangerous. If you're out assessing the damage, we can still see these power lines in the area. Electrocution is possible. So again, please, please, please be careful. If you're out assessing or helping others, obviously very generous, and we want you to do that, but also just be cautious of power lines. Obviously a lot of damage in the area that you could injure yourself as well, so just please be careful in those areas as well. So again, this was the Solon area along Highway 1, or a little bit north of Highway 1, north of Solon there. So again, just please be careful assessing the damage everywhere, but especially in those southern and eastern areas. Mark, do you have anything here?
Yep, we'll go back to Max 1. We get all these tornado warnings that remain in effect for the area. There's still in our southeastern counties, the southern edge of this is where a lot of the severe part of these thunderstorms are. Farther to the northeast, we do have some thunderstorms, and you can see several tornado warnings are overlapping at some point. And so any place in these areas, literally any place in these areas, severe weather is a possibility. Monticello to Bernard, off towards the south and east, and that extends heading towards the north. Again, looks like there's a new tornado warning that was just issued here for Delaware, Dubuque, and Jones County. This is also the potential for some large hail, about a ping pong ball size hail as this moves to the north and east. Farther to the north, we still have that other tornado warning near Manchester, but the storm is farther to the east, so some good news on that account. And then the bigger picture here, I know a lot of thunderstorms are ongoing across our northern counties, but none of these have been severe. I don't think that one in New Hampton, Chickasaw County, probably is producing any severe weather at this point, even though there's still, looks like a severe thunderstorm warning that's still hanging on to the graphic there, but I don't think that is severe. Blackhawk County, Independence, Buchanan County still officially under that severe thunderstorm warning, and it's a part of that line that's moving southward in through Center Point. We showed you the shelf cloud in Cedar Rapids. Here's the storm now moving into the region, moving through the area. I don't know if there's anything we can pull up on Cedar Rapids to see if there's anything now, because there'll probably be a little bit more, a little less ominous. Yeah, there's the storm as it pushes on through. So now it's just the rain. The strongest of the wind is now past you. I think the threat for severe weather is diminishing now. They've also included a good portion of Dubuque now with a new severe thunderstorm warning. See if we can pull up any of the Dubuque cameras, because we're going to see if we can get any of that, because these storms are heading towards the tri-state area. So here's a live picture. We got some rain. This is from Hotel Julian Dubuque, and it is a little bit of rain passing on through. This will start to increase in intensity. Your winds will be going to start to increase. I know that you're farther to the east. You're the last that's going to see this storm. As we've been talking about this, it'll be approaching the Mississippi River here as we get towards 6 and 7 o'clock. And here we are, about 5:45, and it is moving to your area. Thunderstorms to the north. Keep in mind, Dubuque, you do have a couple of storms to your south and west around Monticello, as well as near just west of Dyersville, that have tornado warnings right now in those locations. Also a couple more. I mean, this whole line has the potential for a tornado to form in that area. You can see near Baldwin. This goes all the way down to Wheatland and then over towards Dixon. This is now outside of our coverage area east of Tipton. So in Cedar and Jones County, the threat for severe weather is diminishing, even though there is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. The tornado threat, and I think the more widespread, is to the north and east. So we'll continue to monitor these two storms. This one here, it is now approaching As the east of Manchester, now near Earlville. Thunderstorms near New Vienna, Dyersville. This is over towards Bankston. This will continue to track east. Here's Dubuque, northwest of Dubuque, Sageville area. That's where the heaviest of the rain is now falling. In town and south, the rain isn't that bad. We'll watch the thunderstorms to your south now that are heading in your direction. Still a potential for Dubuque to be under a tornado warning as we head through the couple of hours here, or next hour or so. It's looking at the velocity. This one looks still a bit ominous down in this area. This is now down near Calamus, Grand Mound, and this will be southeast of Loudon. So this will be moving outside of our coverage area in that vicinity.
Yeah, we'll go over to Max too, just kind of give you again another recap. Let's kind of talk about here what we've been seeing so far. So again, we mentioned earlier, let's just take off for 1 second the warnings. Just kind of want to clear up a little bit here, but you can kind of cut the area into thirds here, and our last third are still seeing those severe thunderstorm slash tornado warnings. So if you are west of this area here, even though the Cedar Rapids area up north through Buchanan County and a little bit there into Fayette County, these are not currently severe. Still could see plenty of gusty winds, but if you're west of here, you are clear. We still could see a little bit of heavy rain, a lot of lightning strikes, but again, if you're west of this line, you're in the clear. East of that line, we are still seeing a lot of strong winds and those tornadoes, as Mark has been mentioning. I want to look in particular at the Dubuque area here because we were talking about that storm that has the tornado southwest of Dubuque, but even the severe thunderstorm warning, now this is radar indicated, but up to 80 miles per hour potentially of strong winds. So we'll show you that on velocity here. It kind of pops out at you. So you can see all of these bright pinks and reds. That's indicative, again, of those very strong winds. And we'll see, again, this is all radar indicated, but if you kind of pick a spot here, velocity 75 miles per hour. So again, these are very, very strong winds. So if you're in the Dubuque area or just west of the Dubuque area, please take shelter because these winds are very strong and can definitely uproot those power lines and those trees. And of course, we're still talking about these tornadoes. Warnings here in effect. We have a little bit there northeast of Monticello, continues to move off to the northeast of Monticello. We still have the one in Manchester here. I want to see if there's any updates on this one, but still looks like we could have that potential for a tornado on the ground in the Manchester area, just a little bit east rather. And then we still have our final tornado warning. Looks like it's just moving out of our area here, but I want to put a couple of tracks on these storms. It continues to move off to the north and to the east. So first the Monticello one. So this is moving off to the northeast in parts of Delaware County as well as Dubuque County. So we'll put a track on this. So I believe this was moving to the northeast at around 40 to 45 miles per hour. Actually, excuse me, no, this was moving to the northeast at around, I believe, 50 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on this, 55 miles per hour, excuse me. So we'll put a track on this here as this continues to move off to the north and to the east through parts of Jones County as well as Delaware and in Dubuque County. So it's going to be pretty much this line right here moving off to the north and to the east. So over the next 40 minutes here, Hopkinton just in a minute now, please take shelter in that area. Cascade at 5:56, Dyersville at 5:03, Epworth at 6:08, Bankston Park at 6:13, and then Burton there at 6:28 out of the area. But we're still seeing that continue to move off into Wisconsin across the border there. And then in portions of Manchester there, again, it looks like could be just a little bit northeast of the Manchester area there, still a little bit on the ominous side there. We'll check radar to see if that kind of lines up a little bit. So it looks like moving a little bit farther east towards Earlville, but if you're in the New Vienna area, or just north of Dyersville, please take shelter there as well, because we've seen confirmed reports of tornadoes on the ground there as well. So again, one last kind of overview here. So we've been seeing a lot of these storms basically east of Buchanan County. If you kind of draw a line north and south, that's where it is currently still going on. But west of that, we still have the wind gusts, we still have strong winds. We'll probably still have that for another hour or so, 50, 60 miles per hour possible, or 50 more like, but we'll still see that go under the severe criteria. Storms will continue to diminish. But another thing is just look at how impressive all of this lightning strikes are. So even if we aren't in the severe weather area, even near the Cedar Rapids area, we're seeing a lot of lightning strikes. Again, continue to take shelter as this continues to move off to the west, or to the east rather, from west to east over the next hour and a half or so.
Okay, getting some reports that are coming in here at this point. Some reports, as mentioned, it comes in after this whole thing. Northwest of Vinton on 218, we got some barns and buildings that are damaged. In Bremer County, so far we've gotten reports of minor damage, power lines down and some shingles. Buchanan County, we've got some power lines down and some trees down, but there's no damage to any homes at this point. Again, those are in Buchanan County and into Bremer County, is also into parts of Benton County, just northwest of Vinton there on Highway 218. So again, so far we haven't had reports out of those locations from the emergency manager that there's been some buildings down, but there are reports of power lines down. Coralville also looking at spots where there's power poles being knocked over. I just got near Kyoto, there's information there that had reports of damage in that area. Also, we've got some spots. I'm trying to I only look in one spot here. Apologize. And there's so many places that we're getting reports from that are coming on in, and we're going to continue to do so because we still have these storms that are approaching the Dubuque area. So Dubuque right now has missed out on a good portion of this, and well, this is now where it's your turn here, that we're going to see these storms move into Dubuque County and the potential for some severe weather, damaging wind, 70 miles an hour. There may be even isolated tornado embedded in this line because the storm energy and atmosphere hasn't been touched really a whole lot in and around Dubuque, and so therefore we're looking at the possibility of severe weather coming in through downtown Dubuque here. I'm going to stop this for a second. I do want to put a track on that just to give an idea of the timing on when this is going to get to you in Dubuque. It's not going to be very long. It's going to be there pretty shortly. As you can see, Piasta 555, which is just about any minute now. Regional Airport, which is south of town, 558. Hempstead High School at 6:02, Dubuque in town 6:04, Dubuque High School at 6:06, Rawlings at 6:10, and in Jamestown at 6:14. So we're talking about say 5, 10, 15 minutes here as it moves to the north and east in that area towards Dubuque. Once that passes through Dubuque, then we still have some thunderstorms, and the threat for severe weather does diminish. But notice there's still a number of tornado warnings for Delaware County, Dubuque County, as well as into parts of Jones County, and then even into parts of Jackson County, tornado warnings that are currently in effect. Yeah, and we want to give you an update here of the tornado watch. So obviously we've been talking about that the western edge of the area is now seeing that clear out. So the Des Moines areas removed are their counties, so that'd be Butler, Grundy, Bremer, Blackhawk, and Tama County out of the tornado watch. I'd be safe to say, too, that Chickasaw County as well could probably be removed from that. Eventually, we'll continue to see it peeled back, because, again, as we've been mentioning all afternoon and into this evening, once that second line moves through, we'll continue to see those watches be peeled back, and we'll see those storms obviously diminishing with some wind gusts on the backside, but we'll continue to see the winds die down a little bit, as well as seeing the risk for tornadoes and for severe thunderstorms. But again, we still have those tornado warnings in effect to the northeast of Cedar Rapids and northeast of Iowa City. And I want to show you a future track here because, again, we've been talking about obviously severe weather, but we're not done with weather overall. We're going to get some snow. So again, we're seeing this just on our northeast edge. So again, probably about 7 o'clock, I'd say we're probably out of this here, and we'll see that continue to move off to the north and to the east, and then we continue through the east or into the night hours here. We're seeing that snow start to be on our northern edge, and we'll get a little bit of snow, especially for our northern areas, overnight tonight into early tomorrow, because we're getting this massive cold front moving through as we continue to see this cold front move through and produce a lot of cold, breezy northwest winds, but also the potential there for
a little bit of snow accumulation, but again, obviously the priority here is the tornado warnings. And what cam do we have there on the screen? That is Dubuque. Yeah, so we got the Dubuque Hotel Julienne cam there. Again, you can see right now, you're seeing the rain. You can't really, it's hard to tell with the gusts, but those gusts are very strong in and around the Dubuque area. And obviously a lot of lightning with this. It doesn't look like on camera right now, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like it'll be right on our edge there of the Dubuque area. So we kind of zoom in to kind of show you, it looks like the lightning is just on our western edge of that Dubuque area, so it'll be coming very, very shortly here. We continue to see that move off to the west and to the east. And the second line behind it now is starting to move out of Benton County and into parts of eastern Lynn County. So Benton County and west, you're in the clear there. Johnson County, even though you're still under that severe thunderstorm warning, that backside I'm assuming will be canceled soon enough here, so you're in the clear. Lynn County, we're still seeing those showers and thunderstorms, but again on the weaker side of things. So we continue to head off to the north there. We'll see things die down a little bit. It looks like eastern Fayette County still seeing a very edge of some heavier rainfall, and then north into parts of Winneshiek and Almakee. Now Almakee and Clayton County, we're seeing some potential severe thunderstorms. It looks like southeastern Clayton County near the Guttenberg area, seeing the potential maybe of some radar indicated tornadoes, but still under a severe thunderstorm warning, but gusts up to 60 miles per hour there. Otherwise, westward it looks like just a lot of lightning as well as some heavy rainfall. So again, the priority here, the main area of focus is where all these red polygons, these boxes are showing up, as well as these severe thunderstorms, in particular in our eastern areas. And it looks like the one to the southwest of Monticello has now been canceled. So now we just have our two here in our area, and that would be the one into Delaware County there, as well as the one heading into parts of Dubuque County. Let's see. Mark, you want to go ahead? Do you want me to?
Yeah, keep going. Just when you're done, I want to show some pictures.
Okay, so again, we're continuing to track this, and we'll show the rotation or the velocity to see maybe potentially where this rotation is, and we are seeing some very, very strong winds with this as well. So potentially it looks like the one heading into southern, looks like just on the edge here of Cascade. So again, if you are in this area, please take shelter. It looks like potentially in this area right here, so just southwest of Cascade, basically riding along Highway 151 and continuing to move off to the north and to the east. Please take shelter as it continues to move very quickly, around 50 to 55 miles per hour. And then the Manchester one here in Delaware County, looks like right on the edge there, just near the Earlville area. Please take shelter there as well. And it looks like Mark's going to have a couple of reports here of some storms.
Yeah, just trying to keep track of this. North Liberty, I got a picture that it's a golf ball to tennis ball size hail a little bit earlier. I want to show you this one here. This is in Hedrick. This was just outside of Hedrick there. Obviously took a direct hit. Somebody's house just destroyed. I mean, you could see there's no roof at all in that area. So this is near in Keokuk County, just near Hedrick. There's, I believe that would be the tornado associated with that. Also getting reports in near Solon. There was a roof that was torn off to a second-story building in Solon, a report there. This is Hedrick, where this building, someone's house, nothing left of this roof. It is gone. Inside, everything is destroyed in that area. So obviously people coming in there to help. Hard to see if there's a tree off in the distance there, if there's any thing left on that tree there, but sad situation that we have ongoing. We're going to get probably more of these reports, unfortunately, as these storms will eventually move out of the area. I know the sun doesn't go down until about 7:30 now, so we still have some daylight here, but the wind is still pretty strong on the back side of this. So if you know somebody you're going to go out and help somebody with damage, keep in mind there's still some pretty gusty winds associated with the back edge of these storms as they pass on by. So yeah, real nasty situation. There's the bathroom, and notice, hopefully they were taking shelter. Look what's here. The walls are gone, the roof is gone. In the shower, it's still standing. Where do you go during tornado? What do we tell you? Bathroom, bathtub, shower. There's a good example of where you need to be taking shelter. Other parts of the building, the roof is gone, but if you're in there, look, it even has the top part still on that. The rest of the roof is gone, but in that shower, is where hopefully they were, and hopefully there's no damage or hopefully there's no injury or fatality with those folks in Hedrick.
Yeah, I think well spoken. And we saw this last week with the Shell Rock tornado. There was an image that was shown, and the same thing happened. The bathroom was still standing, that shower, that structure, and that was an EF4, maybe near EF5 tornado. So we always talk about that, to take shelter in those areas.
There's more angles to it of wood. There's piping in there that helps reinforce some of that. A lot of times it's in the center part of the building.
Right.
It's just smaller rooms. We always tell you to go to smaller rooms because smaller rooms have more angles and more roofs. So like under a stairwell, got more of angles to be underneath that kind of thing than just something that is flat. You need to have a little bit more structure there. Not a structural engineer or contractor, but those are the areas that always seem to be the ones that are still standing after severe weather. And so that's the reason why we keep telling you, there's no place that's 100% safe during tornadoes. We're just trying to give you the best ways that in the past where people have been able to take shelter and make it through these tornadoes.
Yeah, and we'll continue to give that advice. We still have some storms in our northern and eastern areas. I think we'll go, we do have the camera with the Field of Dreams in the Dyersville area, so Meg, we want to throw that if that's ready to go there. Is it on the plasma, or yeah, there we go, full screen there. So again, we're seeing that in Dyersville, so again, obviously a lot of very heavy rain.
The field's flooded.
Yeah, the field's flooded.
Field underwater.
Yeah, again, very heavy rain there. Hopefully minimal damage to that. Doesn't look like.
That is a live picture, just taken at 6:01, and it's 6:01 right now. So maybe not a. It's a recent picture, but yeah, you can see the fields all underwater there.
Yeah,
but no damage to it, as we could see. It seems to be okay. Just a little wet right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like. Let's see. We'll cut quickly to Max, but again, we still have that. If he's in a safe spot.
I was gonna say, is he inside?
Where is he in Dubuque?
He's where? Is he near an outside part of the building that he can get inside? Okay. I just need a quick report from him. Otherwise, I need him inside. Yeah, go to Max. Max, can you tell us what you're seeing right now where you are? Make it quick, because I need
So I'm on Main Street in Dubuque. Yeah, I'll get inside in just a sec. I mean, there's no wind yet. Rain's really just started. Nothing really bad here in Dubuque, downtown just yet. But I'm here downtown. It's just starting to rain. We've seen some lightning here and there. But yeah, like I said, nothing too bad just yet. But as you guys have said, I'll go and shelter, make sure I'm safe, and all of you should do the same.
Yeah, that storm is just to the south and west of Dubuque there by 4 or 5 miles, and so that wind's going to pick up. No warning officially for that. There are some severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings just off to the west of Dubuque. We look at 2 here. We can be able to see the radar and where the storms are and where Max was located in Dubuque. But there isn't a whole lot of lightning with these storms. I mean, there's some there, but nothing widespread and crazy when it comes to the amount of lightning associated with these storms.
Yeah, so again, we'll give you another update here. So this tornado warning, as you saw, the southwestern edge just got clipped off, so Cascade area there, you're in the clear for that tornado warning, at least still under the severe thunderstorm warning, but the lesser of the storm is on the backside now rather than the stronger side of the storm. We still have the Manchester tornado warning popping up. I want to see if we're seeing any of that rotation still in that area. It looks, again, we still could see a little bit there. Not as bad as we've been seeing in the past, so that's good news there. But again, maybe still seeing some rotation in that Delaware County tornado warnings. Again, please take shelter in those on that eastern edge of Delaware County. So we kind of zoom in here, just to near Petersburg, 300th Avenue there, just north of 210th Street, Indian Hills Park, right along Highway 20. So again, please be safe in those areas. And then off to the southeast with the Dubuque County one that just got kind of slashed off there. Again, it looks like rotation right now. This is radar indicated, so that is good news there. It is radar indicated, but we still could have that tornado. Still seeing that rotation a little bit there. It looks like potentially in areas, I'll point it out here for you, maybe this area right here, just a little southeast of Worthington, southwest of Epworth rather. That could be a little bit there, and we still have gusty winds off to the east there as well in parts of Dubuque. Again, we're seeing a lot of this feedback there. You see a lot of those bright pinks and almost yellows indicative of those potentially 70, maybe even at some points 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I want to see if there's anything on the backside of the storm. If we've been seeing any reports of any damaging wind gusts. Looks like, one moment here, I don't think we've seen anything. Recently here, there's been a lot of reports coming in and out with these storms, obviously. So it looks like, for the most part, we've been seeing wind gusts 60, 65 miles per hour just southwest of that area. So again, we could still be seeing some destructive winds, damaging winds in the Dubuque area with the severe thunderstorm warning. And again, as we pan out here, looking overall, we'll throw it back to radar here just to make a little bit more sense. Still a lot of lightning strikes with these. Now continuing to move from west to east. Basically, draw a line Buchanan and East Lynn eastward. We'll continue to see that move off to the east.
We do have some video, unfortunately. We do have some video that I want to show you. This is in Coralville. But it gives you an idea of what actually happened. This is Coralville along the strip there. We have Katie Wadman, our reporter, who's heading to that area. I saw at the last second there, it looks like there was an ambulance off. Yep, there's an ambulance right there. Looks like some sort of building, obviously a vehicle that's tossed on its side. Trees. There's a building that's not there anymore. It's just been flattened. So this is along Coralville. Okay, let's go away from that because I'm getting a little dizzy seeing that whip around there. But that's part of the damage that's pushing on through, or that pushed around through west of Iowa City. Remember when Katie was getting the sirens there?
Yep.
I needed her to get inside. I don't want her outside at that point, and this is the reason why, because this is along the strip there in Coralville, and she was in Iowa City, and it was just way too close to get into that. So hopefully everybody is safe. Obviously there's significant damage there. If not, things are destroyed in that area. So just one of many, I'm sure, that'll be coming out of here over the next couple of hours or maybe days of what's going on.
Right. Yeah, and again, like you said, it's not once in an hour or so this will all wrap up. We still have to assess a lot of that damage. Still a lot impacted beyond today. You know, families dealing with a lot of damage here, obviously, as you saw just there in Coralville, but as well as in Keokuk County there. Again, we still have a lot to deal with here over the next couple of days, and hopefully just kind of little by little just kind of regather things here, because again, this has been unfortunately a destructive storm on many levels, especially in those southern and eastern areas there. So again, we'll Mark, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're
okay.
fine.
Yeah, so we're showing you here, I believe this is on let's see, that we are on Max 1 here. So again, just showing you here the two still remaining tornado warnings in effect, as well as a severe thunderstorm warning.
And the threat for severe weather, I think, is really diminishing as we get into Cedar Rapids. We talked about how this will be ending about 6 o'clock along the Mississippi River. Here we are. There's the line at 6 o'clock here, just after 6, as the storm moves towards the east. Yes, we're getting some thunderstorms. I see there's a few of those tornado warned part of that storm, but the chance on that, I think these just haven't been expired at this point or canceled. I don't see much in the way of any circulations with these at this point, but some gusty winds still a possibility. This also extends northward, so those folks that are up in northeast Iowa, yes, you've got a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, some very heavy rain. There will be some gusty winds with this, gusting to about 40, 50 miles per hour, but no severe weather at this point moving through that area, parts of northeast Iowa. And you can see how a good portion of the area farther to the west. I do want to change modes for here just 1 second. And this is the radar. You can see the storms as they moved on through the region. We'll start to clear out here just a little bit. Across our southern counties, actually, we'll start to see some sunshine. So in Iowa City, Washington, we'll probably break out to some sunshine. And I think south of Cedar Rapids, it may be sunny here before the sun goes down. This will continue to improve as we head through the next couple of hours. So the threat for thunderstorms, yes, continues across our eastern counties. Still have the tornado warning there, but haven't got any information, any more information than recently in that area. The circulation on any of these are not real impressive for those locations. So yes, some winds are pretty on the strong side. But the threat for tornadoes, I think, is really starting to diminish, even though we still have the tornado warning that does remain in effect for parts of Delaware and Dubuque County. And so what I do want to show you, if you are going to be out and about, and this may be a situation, down power lines, please, you want to stay away, stay at least 30 feet away from the power lines. Make sure you report the down power lines to your utility company immediately. If you see any down power lines, assume that they are hot. They don't need to be sparking or on fire. Just assume that they are hot. Let the utilities know. Never touch a down power line. Assume the down power lines have got all the energy in it and are extremely dangerous. So even if the kids are out, the animal, the dogs, keep them away from that. We also don't attempt to move the power lines or drive over them. Don't even do that. Or use anything to move them. This will be a good conductor. It will cause some serious injury. We don't want people getting injured after the storm that has moved through the area. So again, down power lines, please do not be touching them. Assume that all down power lines are live and they are just wait for the utility company. Make sure you call the utility company. Danny.
Yeah, we'll send it back here. Again, more damage reports, obviously, out of Coralville this time. Again, I think it's still in the Coralville Strip here, but again, you can see a lot of emergency crews on tap here, and you can see a lot of branches and a lot of just debris scattered, and basically that building's nearly destroyed. Again, we'll still have a lot of damage to assess here, but a lot of damage in this Coralville area, so hopefully people in this area were able to take shelter in time. So you can just see all of the debris scattered along the parking lot. Obviously the tree well damaged, and then you'll see here in the background that building as well. And as Mark was mentioning, with those power lines down, please be very, very careful as you're assessing the damage, because we don't want any more injuries to be happening as we do assess this damage. So, again, as we've been mentioning, luckily this severe weather has been slowly diminishing as it moves from west to east, and luckily we haven't gotten any new reports of any new developments, of any tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings. Luckily things have been on a minimal, but we still have those on the far eastern side of the viewing area. And again, this is just kind of a devastating image here, just seeing all of this destruction and debris scattered across the Coralville area and many other areas across eastern Iowa, especially to the south and to the east. And again, we'll continue to assess this with emergency managers, as well as what we can find over the next couple of days or so. Mark, we've got anything new here just to kind of talk about here? Yeah, I got some reports that are coming out of Jones County. There's some trees down. I wouldn't be surprised that some power lines are down as well, if the trees may have gotten knocked into that. There's been some reports of damage to some sheds in Jones County. Again, that's an early assessment of the storms as they move to the north and east. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue in effect, as well as some tornado warnings, but you can see this line. I'm going to take the lightning off of this because this may give us a little better vantage point of the storms here as they are now arcing pretty much right along the Mississippi River at this point, and it's sort of curling in there. You're going to get some gusty wind right now pushing in through Dubuque. I'm not sure, can we pull up a Dubuque camera somewhere? Because this would be maybe a potential to see how strong, this may be the worst of the conditions in Dubuque as this passes on through that area. Because after that the wind should die down a little bit, even though the showers and thunderstorms push on through. The line is extended towards the southeast, so Bellevue, Galena, you're under a tornado warning as well as severe thunderstorm warning. There's a observed tornado report there in Jackson County, Joe Davies County as well. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. And you can see this is for Joe Davies County, parts of Clinton County, Jackson County. This is an observed tornado at this point. Let's take a look here and see if we can see anything inside of that. Not a whole lot, maybe just west of Bellevue. Just about to cross over the Mississippi River here, farther to the north and east. This is really strong wind. So again, you notice the color shift. That's when we switch over to radars from Davenport to La Crosse. So the colors will be a little bit different, but mean the same thing. It just does the same thing. We just have a different mindset for us to look at. But that's the thunderstorms into the north here. The threat for severe weather diminishing as these storms now move into Wisconsin. Still some rain in Clayton County, Waukon, Alameda County, Decorah. Still some thunderstorms there, but really starting to weaken farther towards the west. And as these storms passed on by, we're now up to about 30,000 power outages across the eastern portion of the state. So we still have a lot of lightning associated with these storms running from Dubuque southward through Clinton down towards the Quad Cities, where there are several tornado warnings along this line
here as it moves towards the east. But look how things are really starting to quiet down. Not much going on. Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Williamsburg. Again, we'll be seeing some sunshine south of Cedar Rapids. All is clear for almost the entire area except right along the Mississippi where we are looking at some thunderstorms. So probably within the next half hour, maybe 45 minutes, we can almost give an all clear for the entire area as these storms move toward the east here. And we're looking at a live picture from Dubuque. That is their Hotel Julian Dubuque as the storm passes through. And I think we'll miss out on a good portion of the threat, or a good portion of the severe weather as it moves through Dubuque County and in Dubuque. Yes, some gusty winds, but I don't think there'll be much in the way of any severe weather or damage at this point. But look at the power outages at this point. Want to do the power outages?
Yeah, as you see highlighted over Delaware, basically half of the county is currently under power outage. Experienced just recently a lot of strong wind gusts. We saw some observed around 70 miles per hour, maybe up to 80 miles per hour. So again, Delaware County, hopefully if you are in that area, if you know people in that area, reach out to them if you can. Hopefully they are in a safe spot there. Let's go down to a little bit to the south there. So again, Lynn County, about 5,000, 5,600 outages.
You did mention reaching out to them. You know, sometimes with the power outages and the towers down, phone calls may not get through, but text messages may get through better. So if you're reaching out to them and trying to call them and they're not getting through, you may want to send a text message. That may be able to get through than a phone call. So. Okay.
Yeah, good point there, Mark. Yeah, so again, hopefully, again, if you are able to through that text. Again, Cedar County there, maybe about a quarter, maybe about a third of the area under power outages as well as, and you see the darker the red there, the more power outages in the area. Let's go down to the south there near Keokuk and Washington. So Washington, still about 2,000 people out of power, basically a fifth of the area, and Keokuk still about a third. So again, a lot of areas still experiencing a lot of these power outages, and hopefully with crews, emergency management crews, seeing some improvement here over the next couple of hours into tomorrow. But again, a lot of areas are still going to be seeing these power outages as we continue into tonight and then tomorrow. Luckily, not as much on the western edge there, but we're still seeing them. Buchanan County, about 100 people there. Clayton County, recently some stronger wind gusts there moving through right now, as well as about a half hour ago, around 280 people there. Dubuque, as of now, minimum reports about 217, but those could pick up too once this last line continues to move on through there. So hopefully, again, that stays at a minimum there as well. But again, a lot of that in that southeastern area, and then as well there as into Delaware County. So let's throw it back to Max 2, just kind of give you a recap of what's going on right now in terms of what we're seeing right now. So again, this is Dubuque there on the camera, the Hotel Julian Dubuque there camera. And as Mark's been mentioning, a lot of the severe threat is, I think, out of the area. We aren't really seeing much in terms of severe thunderstorms, but we are still seeing a lot of wind gusts on the back side of that. But again, if we kind of look through, the tornado warning in effect is just off to the southeast there in Jackson County, and then just a little bit there into Galena area. But again, in terms of the brunt of the severe weather, looks like it is mostly out of the area and should wrap up here in probably the next half hour or so.
If we go to Max 1, we'll be able to see, yes, look at the storms along the Mississippi River there, but are we done with those gusty winds? No. Look at the wind gust in Iowa City, almost 50 miles an hour. Now keep in mind, this is going to be more of a norm overnight. So once these storms pass by, we get snow showers in here. I mean, there's a winter weather advisory in effect for our northern counties for about an inch or two of snow north of Old Line by first thing tomorrow morning. The snow will be over with by the time we get towards sunrise, but we will also be dealing with winds that are on the strong side behind this storm system. We are dealing with wind gusts to about 50 miles per hour as we head through the overnight hours. So if we go to Max 2, Danny has something.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at these wind gusts we're seeing overnight. This is, again, severe criteria is 60. We'll be right under that. Dubuque at 50 miles per hour out of the southwest. But notice the shift we're going to see out of the northwest. That's when we see that snow start to move in overnight. And you can see these gusts. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be bitterly cold. So you have gusts 40, 45 miles per hour, and you can only imagine that's going to bring in colder air, drier air, so wind chills. Probably single digits.
It was in the 70s this afternoon.
It was in the 70s today. It was in the 80s near Ames, but now it's going to be probably feels like single digits, lower teens tomorrow morning. So again, if you head out tomorrow morning, it's going to be a whole lot of a different next 12 hours. You're going to have to bundle up, and it's going to feel like more like winter. The good news is it does die down through the day. So you see this is 12 o'clock on the southeastern edge. Still seeing a lot of those strong wind gusts. But by about 5, 6 o'clock, you start to see diminish a little bit more. Feels more like a spring day rather than a middle winter day. And then overnight, we'll see it die down. But then again, more on the backside. We're not done yet. I kind of kid there for a little bit. We have more wind gusts even behind that.
This is a different direction, though. And what does that mean?
We have warmer air.
That's right.
That is right. And that's the good news there. We'll have gusty winds Sunday, but the good news is we'll be dry Sunday. And we'll have that southerly flow, which means we'll see that warmer air. And look at mid-afternoon, early evening, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts still. But again, as Mark mentioned, southerly flow,
it'll be
warmer air.
60 miles or 60 degrees in the 60s.
So a little bit different there as well. So again, we're still dealing with the wind under that severe criteria, but we're going to continue to see these winds fairly strong. So again, I want to show you future track now, just to show you again the potential for that snow through the afternoon and the evening hours. So again, or I guess I should say overnight rather. So again, we have that storm system right on our edge. We'll continue to move out here, and about 10 o'clock, we'll see some sunshine. We've already seen some maybe in our southwestern areas. We'll have clear skies to start, but then now we're seeing the snow move in early morning, 2, 3 a.m. for our north and northwestern areas. Not expected to see a foot of snow, but we're going to see maybe a couple inches in our northern areas, and it's going to feel like winter again. Luckily, again, that does die down. It'll more than likely melt during the late morning, early afternoon hours, but this was quite a bit of a change. If you remember last year, during the winter set time, March 5th or 6th, I think, we had those severe thunderstorms, we had those tornadoes, and then the next day we had the snow. So again, it's just the time of year it is. It's just kind of crazy how we see that switch from these severe thunderstorms into the snow.
And in addition to Minnesota, they're under winter storm warning.
Yeah, winter storm warning, blizzard warnings.
Blizzard warning out into parts of South Dakota, and so it's been quite a day here with this severe weather. And this is not only the severe weather here. I mean, this severe weather extends all the way to the south. I've seen through my feed of so many reports of severe weather south of here into Missouri, all the way down into Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky. Missouri, as mentioned, this is a widespread area of severe weather. Speaking of severe weather, I do want to show you some pictures. Again, this is in Coralville at the strip there, and this is some of the damage from buildings and from cars that are flipped over. Significant damage. Things are destroyed. There's a couple of vehicles that have been tossed. It looks like there's damage off of one of the businesses there on the roof. And that is what's going on. That is a building that is no longer. That is a sad sight to see. The building like that destroyed. That is destroyed. I hope everybody was safe in there. Any other pictures continue at that point? I see the trees that have been snapped. The only good part, I'm trying to find a silver lining in here, that some of these trees may have made it a little bit more because there's no leaves on them. And so maybe some of the trees may have lasted a little bit longer. So,
right.
Okay. I believe we do have Katie Wadman on scene in Coralville, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Derek? All right, Katie. Yes, Katie, now that I've put you back in your place of safety, now hopefully you're out okay, and tell me what you're seeing and just sort of what's going on. What do you see there?
Well, we were in shelter for the past hour, and now we are on 2nd Street of Coralville, and you can see there is a tree in the middle of the road. Officials are responding to the damage. I'll take a step out of the way so you can see the scene right now. Officials are also taping off businesses that have experienced damage from the storm. There's just a lot of debris on the ground, and as you can see, we're on the 2nd Street of Coralville. Drivers are getting back on the road, but there are some traffic lights that are out. Live in Iowa City, Katie Wadman, News 7 KWWL.
Katie, stay with us for a second, because I'll just ask a couple of questions for you, just in experience of where you were. So if you zoom in on that tree behind you, there's a tree that's in the middle of the street. It looks like it was uprooted and tossed in the middle of the street. Do you have a rough idea of maybe what direction that even came from or where? Because that's obviously in the wrong spot.
Officials have not confirmed where the tree has came from. I think it came from on the side of the road next to, you can see over here on the right side of the street. Lots of damage and debris hit some businesses, and the roof actually from some businesses to the right of that came off completely. officials are marking off, and people are kind of walking around seeing what's going on. And obviously, businesses, just lots of damage and debris.
Sure. So what
from the storm.
Do you know what street you're on? Maybe an intersection there, just to give a rough idea. Looks like there's damage to a building off the distance. Somebody walking around. Yeah, just a little more detail on the street that you're on.
We are on 2nd Street of Coralville, the plaza, right by. The plaza of 2nd Street of Coralville right now.
Okay, to your left, is there anything behind you? I know that he's panned towards that construction truck, but is there anything on the other side, sort of behind you in that direction? Is there damage in that area, or is most
there
of the damage to the right?
There are some businesses that have experienced some severe damage to the left of the road. Just the building completely has collapsed.
Has collapsed. Have you seen any emergency vehicles when it comes to ambulances or anything like that?
There are no ambulances or fire trucks on scene right now, just police officers.
Any smell of gas or anything near you? Do you smell gas?
There's no smell of gas on right now outside.
Okay, so that's some good news there. So you did your report, and I told the director to make sure that you're in a safe spot. So you were obviously in Iowa City at the time. As the storm passed through Coralville, when you were taking shelter, what was the experience like where you were there? I mean, what was
we sheltered in place.
What was, I mean, just give me the experience that you were there. In the basement. What did you hear the storm passing by, rumbling? Was there any damage near you when you came out?
We lost some electricity for a little bit, but then it turned on. We sheltered in place in a basement for the past hour, and now as we got outside, there wasn't a lot of debris in the Iowa City, Coralville area, kind of over there. But as you move down from Coralville heading towards North Liberty, there has been more damage towards this area. We have seen as we drove. There's some traffic lights that are out, lots of cars not being able to pass through because of officials blocking off. As you can see, they are taping off more sections.
Yeah, and I've noticed not only the buildings, but the trees being tossed around. Have you seen any of the vehicles that have been damaged? The size of some of those vehicles? Are they SUVs? Are they smaller cars? Were they pickup trucks? I don't know if you could see from your vantage point.
We have not seen any damage to vehicles as of right now. As I'm looking around in this area, there aren't a lot of vehicles on the road that we are on right now that have experienced damage.
Okay, so it looks like there's a little bit of sunshine popping up there. So, all right, Katie Wadman, thank you very much for your report and keeping us informed about what's going on in the Coralville area. Again, there's a lot of damage, as you can see, debris being tossed into the trees. We did see some pictures of the Coralville Strip where there was a couple of vehicles that were damaged, but where she was, there wasn't, she couldn't see any of the vehicles at that point.
Yeah,
so
I think we have, Meg, do we have more photos to show? If we want to go full on that. I think these are from the this is from credit from Benjamin Haar in the Coralville area. Once we'll take those folds, just kind of show you more of these photos. Again, you can see, basically it looks like maybe a potential. It looks like, yeah, that's
a trampoline.
As our producer mentioned, a trampoline.
Yeah, that's like a kite during severe weather.
Obviously, those can get picked up very easily.
So it looks like there's some maybe a wall or a roof or some sort stuck in the tree there. That's hard to say, but there's some sort of structure.
I was going to say potentially, like, I don't know if there's a damaged tree house there. Or I don't know.
That may have. It's hard to say. Maybe a tree house, but there's whatever there's is some damage in the tree that got tossed there. Any other from that spot? So there's looks like some siding or silo. There's again, there's some of the pictures that we looked at earlier of the building that is damaged. Well, not damaged, it's destroyed.
And then, yeah, there's some of the vehicle damage there. You see
destroyed.
Looks like maybe a truck completely flipped over.
Yeah, that's on its roof there. And look at that. I believe that would be. Hold on to that picture for a second and look at the foundation there. That may be a shed or a driveway or a garage, because that may be the garage, the roadway there leading into the garage. So I mean, look at the foundation. It's just the garage is gone. So everything within the garage probably off to the thing, and that vehicle may have been in the garage there getting tossed with the building. Sad. It really is sad seeing these images like this. I do want to go back to the radar for a second, because I do want to still, there are some thunderstorms still approaching or moving through the Mississippi area, Mississippi River, that is. The threat for severe weather diminishing very fast as it moves into Wisconsin, as well as northwestern parts of Illinois. Not only are the thunderstorms moving out of the area, but there are some areas that are dealing with some wind, or excuse me, some rain on the back edge of this, but the threat for severe weather is drastically diminishing. In addition to that, keep in mind that we may not have severe thunderstorms, but winds up around 50 miles per hour are still possible for the rest of tonight and into the morning hours. So be careful if you're helping somebody out there and you need to get up on a roof or something and climbing up the stair or a ladder, that the wind could be pretty strong. All of a sudden you get a quick little gust and you're putting a tarp on somebody's roof. That'll act as a kite, and you don't want that to be part of that kite as it blows around with winds gusting to 40 or 50 miles per hour outside of thunderstorms. And you're not going to be able to, that's not something that's you can forecast. That is just every once in a while you're going to get a gust that's going to be pretty strong, and it's not associated with the thunderstorm. And so please be careful if you're out doing that, helping your neighbor in the area. The tornado watch really diminishing quickly. I don't even, they're probably just, it's a matter of time with the forecast office in Davenport being a little busy right now.
Yeah, the Davenport one, they're still dealing with those storms just to the east of us in Davenport itself and then into Illinois. So those watches are still into effect, but in terms of our area, again, our neck of the woods, we're still going to see those storms continue to move off to the north and to the east. Really, that last line just on the edge there of Dubuque and maybe in the northeastern Clayton County as well as in Allen-McKee County. We're seeing more moderate to heavy rainfall showers there in Allen-McKee County, but not necessarily seeing any severe weather there. So again, we'll kind of show you, pull it back up radar here. Again, we're seeing that continue to move off to the east. But again, that tornado warning is outside of our area there in Carroll County, in Jackson County, as well as in Joe Davies County. So again, that's just off to the east there into portions of far eastern Iowa, as well as into portions of Illinois. And as we mentioned, as Mark's been mentioning, we've been seeing these wind gusts still pretty strong right now, and they'll continue to pick back up overnight. They'll stay probably out of the southwest for a little bit, keeping it modestly warm, but then we'll start to see that potentially move off, switch to the northwest with a little bit of snow on the way. But again, let's kind of zoom in here just to show you the edge. We want to flip it over to Max too, guys, just to show you kind of the edge of where these storms are kind of ending up. And pretty soon here we'll have that kind of severe weather threat out of the area as we continue to see those storms move off to the north and to the east. So again, these tornado warnings that are popping up on your screen, we're seeing those just outside of our viewing area, not necessarily in our neck of the woods here. So again, that's the good news here. We still have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings though in eastern Buchanan County, or excuse me, Delaware County, as well as in Dubuque County. Main reason for that is those stronger winds that we'll still see throughout the night, but continuing through probably the next half hour or so as we see those kind of shift over to the north and to the east. So again, I think in terms of anything new that we've seen come in terms of reports, haven't really seen anything yet in terms of that. We'll see if we can pull up anything there.
Yeah, we're going to show you some pictures here. I want to show you, this is in Keota along Washington County, Keokuk County line. Some of the, so far it says no injuries as this person. You can see the damage to someone's home as well as someone's vehicle, or damage. It's just destroyed. There's some of the stuff that's been damaged, trees knocked over. Several vehicles have been damaged. Look at all the debris in the fields off in the distance there. More vehicles tossed. I mean, when you get a tornado this size, almost looks like there's something where this would be interesting to see. I don't know if you can come up on one. So I don't know if you can see this here, but it looks like this tree was one piece and then it split somehow and then came back to one piece. I'm not sure if that's, looks like that was a recent split right in there. Something that's a little unusual, but nothing is unusual when it comes to tornadoes. I've seen all kinds of crazy things. I've seen styrofoam pushed right through the middle of a trunk of a tree. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, it's just crazy. And that may be some of the, I mean, someone's car tossed over. Actually, there's a couple of vehicles here that are tossed. See if there's any more. I think there's just the 4 of those pictures that were there. But yeah, so there's the damage that's there. There's more damage in Keota. This is in Washington, Keokuk County. Damage to the barn off in the distance. Some of the debris along the side of the road. And there, here's some power lines, power poles down. So there's a couple of these there. And again, if you ever encounter any of this, do not touch these. Assume that these are live. Let the utility know. Call the utility. Don't assume the person, somebody else had called. Just call them. They are aware. If they are aware, they'll let you know. But you know, don't assume that somebody. Do not drive over them. You don't want to. You need to go around this. Don't go anywhere. You want to stay at least 30 feet away. So yes, if you drive this, there may be some power lines in between these, so I'd stay on the far side of that. Just stay away from those. They don't need to be sparking. You just have to assume that they are live because you just don't know unless the utility company is there. But again, no reason to be touching the power lines that are down on the ground there. So that's the damage. Some more damage photos that have been through the area.
Yeah, and unfortunately we're going to see more. And again, we're hoping that you guys stay safe with reporting that, with observing the damage.
Keota's taken a hit. Coralville's been hit pretty hard. Those are the ones that more of the buildings. I know in Solon was hit pretty hard. They got a roof taken off. 2-story building there. There's a lot of trees that are knocked down and power lines, power that's still out in many thousands of people. I don't know if you can pull that up at some point. The power outage map to see just how many people are without power. And that's going to take a little while as well. You got to know, I mean, the utility companies are preparing for this, knew that this was going to be happening. That kind of stuff just takes a little bit of time to get all of that going. I mean, it's not an easy job to do, and they're out there in the elements as well, messing with electricity, and that's not something you really like to mess with.
No, and especially because
you're not an electrician.
Weather's not going to cooperate.
Now with the wind.
Now with the wind.
You get somebody up in the lift and you get a 50-mile-an-hour wind and you start rocking. You don't want that thing tipping over and somebody hurt.
Right. And as we mentioned, tomorrow morning we'll have gusts probably 40, 50 miles per hour. They'll die down tomorrow afternoon, and then Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon we'll see gusts 30, 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, so it's going to be, granted they will be out there and doing their best, but just, you know, obviously a little patience for them as they get their part of the job now going after the storms have passed on by.
Right, absolutely. And let's go to Max 2. I want to show you Dubuque, because we are seeing some clearing in that area. We're still seeing a little bit of rain, but you're seeing maybe a little bit of sunshine peek through. So that's some good news here again. We're seeing it move off to the east and start to clear out. Still seeing some of that in Alameda and Clayton County, some moderate rain showers, but again there in Dubuque. One thing to notice, yeah, that wind, one of the west-southwest, 44 miles per hour, and that's sustained wind. Gusts probably 50, 55 miles per hour through that area. Now, granted, that observation is staying at the top of the hour, so winds have probably diminished a little bit there. But again, we're still seeing those stronger winds in that area as well. And again, another look here at the radar, we're continuing to see this continue to move west to east. This will just kind of load here for me. There we go. Yeah, we're seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect for Delaware and Dubuque County, but again, I think the vast majority of this is over. We're just seeing a lot of moderate, maybe some lightning strikes, but again, the good news is we're seeing that continue to move off to the east. And as we continue to tell Mark, again, we're seeing a lot of these power outages here, so hopefully people are staying safe. Across eastern Iowa, especially there in Delaware County, we talked about that earlier. A lot of those people in Delaware County experiencing a lot of power outages there.
And you can tell where the worst of the weather or damage of the weather is in a short term when power is gone.
Right.
You can look at the map behind me here, and you can see from, we'll say, Dubuque County and Delaware County here, 1,000 people without power in Dubuque County, but over into Delaware County, we're up to about a little over 7,000 people without power. But then you get farther to the south, in Lynn County, we're about 8,000 people without power. Over towards Cedar County, we're about 3,500 people without power. Farther to the west into Johnson County, about 4,500 people without power. So a lot of the severe weather and the damage has been farther to our south and east. And that was, if you remember earlier this morning, the risk for severe weather went to a high risk compared to an enhanced or moderate, but the high end, and that was across parts of east central and southeast Iowa, and that's where the worst of the weather. Washington, about 12,000 people, just short of that, without power. To the west of that, there's about 6,000 people without power. But even to the north there, as we showed you earlier, not Bremer County, Chickasaw County, I believe that is? No, Bremer County, off to the west. A couple more counties there. Blackhawk County, there's a couple hundred people. Buchanan County, Butler County, and then northeast of that, in Chickasaw County, about 100 or so people without power. But so there's some damage in those areas, but the bulk of the severe weather, you can see all the damage in those locations. Delaware County topping out about 9,000 or 9,500 people, customers without power, and it's going to take a little bit while. So if there's damage to the power lines, there's obviously damage to the power poles most likely, and some trees, and there may be even some structural damage in some locations. So it's a horrible situation. Hopefully we've got, and a lot of times in time, I haven't seen any injuries or any fatalities at this point. Hopefully that stays that way and everybody was safe. I think we've got enough word out. It's a Severe Weather Awareness Week. We've been talking about this every newscast, that there was a threat for severe weather, not even, but in addition to how to prepare for it. And now that our threat for severe weather is really diminishing, now it's time for the cleanup and,
Right, and unfortunately, this is just the beginning. We still have April and May to go, which is usually the brunt of that severe weather, and maybe even next week on Tuesday, you might see some more severe weather. So unfortunately, I don't put those tools of how to prepare in the back burner. We're still going to need them in maybe a couple of days here. So
yeah, we're just beginning. We'll be beginning with this. So we do have Katie Wadman, who's going to give us a little more information about Coralville damage down there in Johnson County. Katie, go ahead.
We are outside the 2nd Street of Coralville near apartment complex buildings. As I showed before, there appears to be a shed that has experienced some pretty severe damage. People are kind of just walking around, kind of in shock right now, taking pictures and just looking around. I mentioned before that there appeared to be no vehicle damage, but as we got closer to the apartment building, we see that there does appear to be two or three trucks that are flipped over, and just a lot of damage over here. Officials have marked off tape. People are trying to go get a closer look to the damage, and officials are telling them to back away as they are clearing up the debris from the storm.
Yeah,
as we were walking over here, we could see people, owners of businesses, already trying to clear up the damage, patching up holes from the storm, or just experiencing wind damage from the storm earlier today, just trying to pick up what is left. As I mentioned before, we are by apartment building complex off of the 2nd Street of Coralville.
Yeah, that's...
Earlier today, I mentioned that there weren't any vehicle damages near the strip of Coralville, but as we came over here, there appears to be 3 cars that are flipped over. Officials trying to figure out how to get them flipped over, turned back around, and people just kind of in shock over here on the phone, trying to check in on their loved ones. Live in Iowa City, Katie Wadman, News 7 KWWL.
Yeah, that's it's hard to see. There's a lot of damage there, a lot of things that people worked hard for. It's just destroyed in a very short period of time. It's hard to see that, as even if weren't directly impacted by that, it's hard to see someone's life destroyed or their things destroyed. Hopefully there were no fatalities or injuries with that. But just those kind of pictures are hard to see. And we've seen other ones where it's homes that are destroyed, maybe someone's shed and barn that's been destroyed. Not good. Just not good.
Yeah. We'll give you kind of another update here. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warnings, again, you're seeing that tornado warning on your screen, but that's for Illinois area. So let's kind of zoom in here. Again, Davenport's really busy right now, so these warnings probably could have been canceled a little bit ago, and there it goes right now at 6:45. So it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, the entire area is now completely clear and clean of any severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, we're still seeing a little bit of that rain into parts of Allen-McKee County. We are seeing the lightning diminish. Again, the winds are not going to die down maybe a little bit here into the nighttime, but they'll pick back up. We'll still have gusts probably 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour, especially in the early morning hours tomorrow, seeing that shift from the southwest to the northwest, seeing that wind start to bring in a lot of that colder air. So again, the good news here is in eastern Iowa, we are all in the clear here. We'll still have those wind gusts. And I guess, of course, as we've been mentioning, be safe if you have to observe any of this damage. You're assessing any of that damage. If you can, send a text to those loved ones in those power outage areas. Hopefully you can contact them. If not now, soon enough. Again, we're seeing that start to move out now. But again, this was, unfortunately, a very devastating storm that happened over just a matter of hours, moving very fast at times. So we'll continue to monitor this, and I'm sure more damage assessments will start to come in, but it looks like for now we are in the clear here for severe weather. Yeah, the severe weather is as you mentioned, we're done with that. So on the severe weather side, now it's just the cleanup side, unfortunately. So if you know of a neighbor that needs some help, head out, do as much as you can. Check on your neighbor if there's some damage nearby, make sure everybody's okay. I know there's first responders, emergency management team all out getting information from the local people there, and we've been getting the information from emergency managers on certain things that are some damage here. Let me look at this for a second. Yeah, go ahead.
My chicken scratch here of notes. North Liberty had some golf ball and tennis ball size hail, baseball size hail in Centerville. We've had a roof that was been ripped off in the Solon area. We've gotten reports of barns and some buildings that have been damaged or destroyed on the northwest side of Vinton, around 218. Bremer County, we do have some minor damage, but some power and shingles. Buchanan County, power problems, trees down. So far, no homes. We've seen Hedrick, that's taken a pretty hard hit. Obviously, the Coralville area, we've seen that where Katy is, around the Strip. Jones County has gotten reports of trees down and some sheds that have been damaged. So, and that's just a little sampling of what has been happening throughout eastern Iowa with these thunderstorms. And I'm sure there'll be more of this to come out to get more information. Now the question comes, were these done by a tornado, or were these done by a straight line wind? Either way, I mean, someone's house is destroyed, whether it's a tornado or damaging winds, because we could have winds in excess of 70, 75 miles an hour, and that's going to do significant damage or destroy things. And so that's what the National Weather Service emergency managers will have to obviously go out and do some assessment, and that will take a couple of days, maybe a week or so, to get that information in there. So that's over the next couple of days on our side of things and how that's going to play out. They will send out teams to certain places where emergency manager says, hey, we've got this kind of stuff, we think it's a tornado. Come out and take a look at that, and what they look as damage indicators on how things are destroyed, how well the building was there. I mean, if it was an old barn that was falling apart, and well, then the wind probably wasn't as strong to knock that over, but it was a well-structured, brand new building. I mean, it could have been a lot stronger. So obviously we saw some buildings that were destroyed, people's homes, the roof was gone. Saw that one picture of the bathroom that was still in place.
Still saying that shower, that's still right there in place.
Yeah, I mean, that shower still had the roof on it. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think there was the front glass or whatever that was there. I don't think that was gone.
I think that was,
but three sides of it, and the roof the top part was still in place. But meanwhile, the roof of the entire building was gone, and the walls were gone from that building. So one of those things that we'd like to tell you or remind you is where to be during severe weather. And that is another example, or just one of examples of where to be.
Right.
And I know we tell you to put helmets on, bicycle helmets. I mean,
it sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous. But and I've got pictures that people send me. Hey, I'm wearing a football helmet, my brother's football helmet, and I've got it on, and we're sitting down here, and we're ready. You know what? That's exactly. I'd rather you look crazy and look ridiculous and safe than not, and get hit in the head or something like that, and there's some damage. I know it sounds weird, but we tell you these things because we want you to be safe in these situations. Because I mean, you've seen it as well. People sending pictures and and it's coming up next week. I think it's the 5th. It's Selfie Day, where Safe place selfie, and it's where you take a picture of yourself where you're in the safe place. So that's another reminder to get people to know where to go during severe weather. It's the way of Weather Ready Nation is trying to get everybody ready for severe weather or prepared to protect themselves for severe weather, and that's one of the initiatives for the Weather Ready Nation that we're all part of. Right, exactly. And again, as we mentioned, it looks ridiculous, but we want people to be prepared as much as possible. Even wearing those helmets or those bicycle helmets, we want them to be prepared. I did want to add, we did get a report that there was some injuries in Johnson County. This was a report from Johnson County Emergency Management, but the good news here is, again, we still don't have any fatalities, so hopefully that stays obviously the same. But that's the only report we've seen of injuries from Johnson County Emergency Management in that Johnson County area. So hopefully that stays at that, but otherwise that's all we have for that. Also gotten some reports that are in Dubuque, some trees and some power lines. And a lot of times these trees fall into the power lines and then pull down the power poles. So some of those stronger wind gusts are causing those problems, and maybe straight line winds at that point than a tornado. So again, National Weather Service will talk with the emergency managers in each of the counties and assess the situation and figure out if they're going to be dealing with tornadoes or these are straight line winds. And then over the next few days and weeks we'll have more information on that. So but yeah, it's been eventful for many folks out there. So, we did a Facebook Live earlier this morning, Brandon and I, before the noon show, and we were talking about how some people saying, well, you're getting us nervous or scared. Well, we're trying to get you informed. We know we're trying to get you heightened. We knew that this was going to be a different situation than normal, and sometimes, and I know when we say severe thunderstorm warning, people want to go outside. They want to see it. They want to see it. They want to see it. They go outside. And today was the day that I didn't want you to do that. I needed you inside for severe weather purposes, because this was going to be fast moving. These were going to cause all kinds of damage. And this wasn't one of those days to go wander outside and I want to see the tornado and then we'll go back inside. It was not one of those days to mess around. Things are just moving way too fast. And you can see all the video on the bottom of the screen there, off to the bottom on the right side, I believe that is. And that's the damage, and that's part of the reason why we tell you, or wanted to give a little enhanced wording on what was going on or coming up, because this was not a normal day. This is not a normal severe weather day where there's a slight risk out, and we may get 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms or maybe 1 tornado. I just saw, I think there was at one point we had maybe 8 tornado warnings. It was up and down that western side into Grundy, Butler, Blackhawk, Tama. We had those. We had the ones in the southeastern Iowa, Johnson County, Iowa County. So yeah, we had probably 7, 8 at once, and severe thunderstorms encapsulating all of that. So again, this was a very eventful storm. I mean, it's something I have never seen before. I mean, I've only been doing this about 9 months, but again, this is just something that's, again, really, when you see that high risk, that's very rare, and it followed through, unfortunately, just seeing how strong these storms were. Yeah, this has been pretty crazy. I mean, hearing some of the damage in that area. Brandon just walked in. Come over here for a second. I'm going to have Brandon. He's not going to be mic'd up, but he's going to be talking off of my microphone here. He's walking in. He came back from the chase vehicle.
You have to be easy with him, though. He kind of lost his voice a little bit.
Brandon's been up, he's been here since 3 o'clock this morning. So you are out in the chase vehicle. What are some of the things that were going on where you were seeing?
Well, I can tell you that we were on the heels of a lot of these storms. We were just in wrong spots. We were very unlucky in where we were trying to see these things. We just came across a lot of rain, a little bit of hail. Even after the severe storms kind of rolled out, those little showers right on the back end, strongest winds we had faced the entire time.
Sure. Just
from the little showers. I mean, they were probably tapping into some of the stronger winds aloft. So kind of driving back on Highway 30, we were getting blown around, and there was no warning at all. So that was kind of interesting. But when we went through Solon and towards Mount Vernon, we saw most of our damage in Solon, the down power lines there, branches, some of that structural damage. Didn't see much in Mount Vernon, just branches and trees snapped. I saw a picture from Coralville. Looks like Coralville got hit.
Coralville, yeah. We were just showing Katie Wadman is down in Coralville. We have lots of buildings there that are either damaged or destroyed. We have vehicles that are turned over. So, yeah, it
sounds like lots of confirmed tornadoes, too, from the storm as it's come through, from what I've seen on social media.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. They're talking about how they'll go out and figure out this, was this damaging wind from a straight line wind or a tornado, but
there will be a lot to sort out.
Whether it is someone's house is destroyed, whether it's straight line winds or a tornado, the house is damaged.
Damage is damage.
It is.
Doesn't matter what it's from.
That's right. Someone's car's flipped over. Somebody worked hard for that, and now there's cars over there.
And I will say too, when we were kind of in the I-80 area trying to get to that Coralville storm, a lot of people on the interstate parked underneath the overpasses. Don't do that.
Yes.
It's a bad idea. A, it was slowing traffic down. You have all sorts of cars coming at you. It's raining. You can't see much. And B, it just funnels the winds. You don't go under an overpass and things like that. So.
And it prevents the first responders potentially to get to these locations faster. So they now have to slow down because now it's sort of bottlenecked on the interstate there. And you got these first responders that are trying to get to someplace to help somebody, and there's a bunch of cars that are just, off to the side of the road would be the best scenario, but one of the worst places to be is underneath that overpass.
Yeah, this is not a good idea. We did come across some debris on I-80 when we were coming there, so that was kind of interesting to try to dodge that on the way in. But other than that, that's about what we saw.
Okay, yeah, we've been looking at the severe threat diminishing now across eastern Iowa, and that's been the situation here as we head through the evening hours. I think we're going to, since a lot of the severe weather is over, we're not getting any more reports of stuff. We'll take it right up to the 7 o'clock hour. Correct me if I'm wrong, if we can go back to programming at 7 o'clock? Yes, so right up, straight up 7 o'clock, we'll get you back to your primetime programming. That is coming up here at 7 o'clock, but hopefully everybody was safe out there. It's been a long day for many of you who are, we talked about this for a week. Some people have a little bit more anxiety for storms than others. Some were really nervous. I talked to some lady today and she said she's really nervous about storms. I said, you're going to be okay. Just do this. Think about the common sense things that we talked about over the last couple of days, and hopefully everything was all right with that lady. And we did informed a lot of people. Hopefully everybody has been safe. I know there's been a lot of damage and stuff like that. We spent the week helping everybody out leading into this. This won't be the last time that we have severe weather. This is so early. This is, April.
Even looking at early next week, there's already a risk out.
It's already a risk out for Tuesday. So this is, we've got more, and our severe weather season is not here yet. It's into May and June that we deal with the greatest potential for some severe weather. So that's what we are looking forward as we look ahead, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. So by the way, tonight is still going to be windy, and the weird part about this, it's going to snow.
Yeah, we're going to see some snow.
Northern counties, Owine, we've got about a ½ inch to an inch of snow, and if you're out traveling tonight late with the gusty wind and that snow falling, visibility may be reduced at times in those areas. And if you're traveling north into Minnesota, several inches of snow.
Well, and that wind, too, might hamper some of the cleanup efforts out there, so just be aware of that.
Right, and it'll be a whole lot colder as we get into the day tomorrow. Temperatures are in the 40s. I know we blew through our 5 and 6 o'clock newscasts, but we will have more information coming up on our news at 10 here. So from all of us here at KWWL, on camera and behind the scenes, thank you for joining us. And you know what's coming up later today or later tonight? The Hawkeye women playing basketball.
Yes, that's something to look for there.
Something to look forward to. So good luck to the Hawkeye women. Hopefully we'll get to the championship game. So
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, and go Hawks.
This has been a Storm Track 7 severe weather alert. For more on current conditions, go to KWWL.com.